Welcome to Open Minds, Open Mic, the place to be on a Friday night. We have a very special delight for you. Nemo Sum will be featuring, plus a whole slew of these just amazing artists that I see in the room with me right now. Some I haven't seen in a while, so I'm really excited to hear, what they've been up to. Uh, yeah, it's gonna be a great show. I'm gonna start us off tonight with a piece that I wrote inspired by Nemo. Uh, Inspired actually by a piece that he wrote a poem and I kind of did a companion poem to it. And then I as well did oh geez, I had a whole bunch of people come join. But yeah, so it's kind of inspired by Nemo and the piece that we did. And then one of our favorite rap artists, Aesop Rock. And it was the rhyme scheme and the structure that I really liked from him. So I kind of blended it all together and took inspiration from all these different places. But the most important place, my brother Nemo. And it's called I Am No One, Yet I Am All. I am no one, yet I am all. A flicker of light, a shadow so small. The silence of stars, the waves in their plea, the breath in the void, the truth that sets free. 'Cause I am no one, yet I am all. The whisper that stirs just before the call. The hand that shapes the winds that erase, the spark in the fire, the infinite face. The I am no one yet, I am all. The rhythm that pulses through this cosmic sprawl, the seed in the soil, the storm on the seas, the dance of the planets, the song in the trees. 'Cause I am no one, yet I am all. The rise of the tower, the crumble of walls, a fracture in time, the stillness of space, the hope in the journey, the paths we retrace. 'Cause I am no one, yet I am all. The voice that answers when the shadows call. The dream of the many, the song of the few, the thread that entwines both the false and the true. See, I am no one, yet I am all. The wanderer's path, the rise of the fall, the pulse of existence, the pool of the tides, the echo that lingers where eternity hides. 'Cause I am no one, yet I am all. The flicker of stars, the endless sprawl, the bridges we burn, the bonds we restore, the infinite door to what lies in the core. 'Cause I am no one yet, I am all. The silence that answers the siren's call, the force and the motion, the space in between, the mirror that reflects what's never been seen. 'Cause I am no one, yet I am all. The weight of the dust, the endless thrall, the voices that linger, the stillness of time, the harmony woven into chaos and rhyme. 'Cause I am no one, yet I am all. It's the beginning of the eternal, the final enthrall, the shadow that shapes, the light that consumes, the breath of the cosmos, the infinite bloom. Because I am no one, yet I am all. Peace. And thank you, Nemo, for inspiring that piece, man.
It's a beautiful piece. I love it every time I hear it. Thomas, thank you.
Is that your poem, Thomas?
Yeah,
You wrote it?
yeah.
Wow.
Inspired by this collab, or
You've
not
been
really a
arching up
collab, it's a
from the time I
companion.
last heard you, man.
Oh, you've missed so. Oh, I got some new ones too, brother. Me and John have been working on a epic collab, and we have two other people that we brought on so far. We plan on doing more because what's an epic collab if it's just a few of us, right? We're gonna try to bring in, and so me and John have just been writing and adding, and we'll pull someone in and we'll write and create, and so yeah. Eventually, we're gonna be calling you Lantern, and you. viewers to
I'm going
come
to
be a part of
change
this.
my piece now. I've got to live up to that poem you just did, man.
Oh, that's the best compliment I could ever get. Thank you for that. Well, yeah, we have an amazing lineup tonight, folks. I see some new people just joined in the room while I was reading, so sorry for the pauses in my performance, but I had to let them in because I did not want them to miss a single moment of this show. But yeah, coming up on deck, we have Paul Skiff. But stepping up to the mic next, we have none other than the Lantern Carrier. Brother, if you can unmute and bless us with some words, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my friends. Jedi Knight is with us tonight. So, shades of luminance. Loyalty kissed my mother's womb, going forward to shape my character, environment, and culture. Relationship to peers and country, my steadfast devotion to duty, to partnership in love and tenacity. Purpose has always driven me in life, ever since I awake intuitively to the knowledge of self, recognizing that I am a soul experiencing the duality of joy and sorrow, striving to become one with its innate divinity, its true source. Belief was the light of hope which kept me moving, even in the abyss of my loneliness. It kindled my trust in doctrines before manifesting itself as faith in the mystic fire of my experiences. Progress is a voice of evolution that showed, like the Wright brothers, that one can always soar higher, like the phoenix, that there is no limit to human experiences, only a continuous or self-transcending journey of growth. Excellence was the way I paid attention to detail like a fine wine to ensure that every aspect of its aroma, taste, and environment is amenable to all, not to mention the decor, ambience, energy, and affinity of the surroundings. Pride divine is a well-deserved state from which I toiled, like bringing up children, watching with the joy of the heart as they surpassed me in conduct, excellence, and charisma. Unity walks with me, like my favorite flowers, each being aware of their own strengths, not competing, but blending harmoniously to create an exquisite garden of radiant love. Gratitude is my very life breath. It rightly is my legacy from the truth eternal, sustaining me in my darkest hours, like it does the night, whispering to my soul that love is all. Glory comes in guises, carrying the attire of leopards and snakes. I start with status, fame, wealth, and power, wearing a crown on my head and a scepter in my emotions, burdened by the elephants on my shoulders until I ascend to the grandeur of the love eternal. Faith is the silent, reassuring voice that guides me, art and charm flavorings to my experiences, like grace, with such inner culinary genius that I never doubt the joy of its delight. Wisdom scrolls nest in my heart temple, like doves of light, carrying the messages of harmony and oneness, revealing the vision of freedom on the very pulse of being. These shades of luminance inspires me, keeping me spirited and feeling totally alive. They kindle my courage, giving me the strength and resilience to pay attention to self-worth, soaring on radiance and commanding respect. Now I feel so alive. I rise in the morning and smell that cafe Arabica con leche, being already vibrant and receptive like tulips to the healing rays of the sun. I see the shafts of love's mercy, even as she dances in the unfolding magnolias and exquisite white lilies of spring. The glint in my princess's eye roam, never failing to greet the shining star of her only lover. The trees laugh in their plenitude, even as nature comes alive in her munificence. We walk through the grove, our hands clasped, and transmitting the warmth of love's energy to our souls. We hear the stream's melody, even as the song bearers create magical symphonies and the fertile earth massages our feet affectionately. Yes, I am alive in my shades of luminance. Here everything pulsates, and the universe glows with luster like rows of golden lanterns lining its path. I am free, basking in the light of my beloved, and my soul sings and whispers gratitude to the temple of the sun. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Absolutely amazing. Everybody, I missed you so much, brother. Everybody, unmute yourselves, please, and give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Wow, Lantern Carrier. So lyrical.
Awesome. Yeah, Lantern, like I've said recently, we need you more and more. We need your voice more and more during these times. Thanks for all the, the long time travel to get here tonight.
Paul, you were very kind to me last night, and you're always kind to me. I respect you from one poet to an illuminary soul and a great advocate of the message of the Nuyorican Cafe and everything poetry. I thank you.
Amazing stuff. I love this community from the Nuyorican to all the, guerrilla everybody who does poetry. The way that, it's not a competition, right? Just like how he said in the poem there that I quoted, right? Like it's nice. We're all blooming as these wonderful flowers, and we all
Indeed. You picked that
in this
line up.
beauty. Yeah, I seen that, right? I know, I see you. Yeah, thank you again so much for everything. And I haven't seen you in a while. Like, thank you for coming by. I missed that smile. Like, I haven't missed
I was
smiling
at
as
New
bright
York.
without seeing you.
I was at New York this morning, man.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I'm tired, I was
Excellent.
there
Lantern,
3 a.m. this morning, man.
Lantern Carrier has like a gravitas to him. When he starts speaking, it's like something important is happening.
Yeah, everywhere.
Thank you.
Excellent.
He set the
All right.
vibe immediately.
Yeah. What a way to kick off the show. Thank you
I
guys
was
for
going
being
to give
so
you two
handsome.
light love pieces, but I had to change when I heard your beautiful poem. It was such a beautiful poem.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's keep the show rolling because we have so many more beautiful poets coming up, plus a feature set from Nemo Sum. Uh, on deck, we've got Ragged the Poet, but coming up now, we have Paul Skiff. So I just want to say, welcome to the Skifverse, everyone.
Oh, thanks. It's so good to be here with you all. I give thanks for Thomas's good fortune. You see, Thomas, the universe will come and open its arms to you, right? Like you said, you found the home you was just waiting for you. It's good to see some people here. I don't see that often. Shocky's here, Ma Dukes. Glad to see you here. I just have this one thing. Arrival, bright arrival, bright arrival. Is anyone ever really free? As long as you need a body, you will not be free, but you can feel freedom when you accept satisfactions from your spirit given by experience through emotions that realize power to act as you please. Loosened from constraints that incarcerate you in physical sensation. Is anyone ever totally whole? As long as you have one regret, you will not be totally whole. You can feel a hint of wholeness by casting off your regrets to find acceptance that balances loss with how equilibrium sums your fragments, how equilibrium sums your fragments. Is anyone ever fully sane? As long as you rely on others, you will not be sane. You can become hospitable to sanity by relying on yourself, being sufficient unto yourself, answering the compromises and trials of being almost is anyone ever completely alive? As long as there is need to work for money, you will not be completely alive. You can become more alive if you expand time looking at stars. You can become more alive if you expand time looking at stars. That requires consciousness where being alive is meditated by the always yes of growth. If you want to be free, if you want to be whole, if you want to be sane, then completely alive. All you need to do is give up who you are now. Give up who you are now. You are now, you are now, you are now, you are now. Give up who you are now. Give up who you are now. Enter the fearless place where you have nothing more to lose than feel given back to the that embraces us all, given back to the universe out of which we all have come, given back to the universe to be its pure expression, like night sky soiled and purified in celestial light found at your own core. Shh, hush, do not tell. You are the everlasting light swollen day.
As always, amazing stuff, Paul Skip. In fact, two Mondays ago, you read a poem that um like changed my perspective on poetry and spoken word, and it was amazing. Everybody, do me a favor, unmute yourselves and give all the love you have for Paul Skip.
Wow.
Yes, come
Yeah.
on now.
So cool. Woo-hoo.
Wow.
Thank you, everybody. Like I said, it's a pleasure to be here. And as people say, you don't always get to choose the people you're close about and around you, but they are the people who build you in part. So what I do is partly the result of my association with all you wonderful poets.
Well said.
Yeah.
Very well
Paul
said.
began with this Gregorian style, truly mystifying chant, psalm like beautiful imagery, and then it just took it to lofty and sublime height, and so far reaching in its ethereal beauty and exquisite love. It's amazing.
Paul, how you like that compliment? I think he pretty much summed you up right there.
Well,
That was
that's
good.
coming from somebody who's got, an acutely clear vision of things. So
Yeah,
that's a supremely wonderful thing for me to enjoy being, delivered to me. Thank you.
definitely.
Thank
You know,
you.
Paul's my father was a Catholic deacon, and so I heard a lot of chants, a lot of Gregorian, and that's what it took me back to. Different message, of course, but the chant delivery is took me right
So
back to
tonal that
yeah.
Oh,
and the
cool.
vibrato, the natural vibrato of his voice really pulls you in. And in fact, I sat here for like I think it was what we spent 2, 3 hours chatting because I wanted to do a cover of his at one of the tonal pieces he does, and he laid out here's how I do it and here's what, and it's just so simple. It's just feel where the poem's gonna take
Well, if
you.
you think Hindus, Buddhists, Catholics, they've all done chants for thousands of years to
Well,
pass
there's
wisdom
something
to each other.
powerful. Yeah, well, there's something powerful about the vibration of what you're saying, not just necessarily the message or the words, but in which the way you say it.
Yeah.
But definitely, thank you so much, Paul Skiff. Once again, everybody, real quickly, give it up for Paul Skiff. Amazing stuff.
Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, we have such a wonderful show coming up. We got Nemo's feature coming up soon. On deck, though, we have Marianne Tefft. But stepping up to the plate now, we have Ragged the Poet. Ragged, brother, I love you. If you can bless us with some words, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Thank you very much. The first piece I want to do is in a collaboration between myself and a poet out of London whose name is Edenike. You can find her on Instagram under Nike Nourish You. I think it's the same on Clubhouse. You can find her there. She does some amazing work. Nike_Nourish You. But I was privileged to collaborate with her earlier last year. This piece is called Spoils of Epiphany. As frightening as it may be, you are clearly tipping epiphanies, physical fissures ripping the rushes of dopamine, burning the vanities firm in all your might and all that you might be. The trilogy of good and the bad and the ugly, the knives of your night are part of your mystery. The art of war is to know your enemy. The id and ego in the shadows. Once in light disarmed of arrows, there is no shame in showing mercy. Clemency is currency, gentle warrior. Do no harm. Take no shit. Overstand your skins. Pitching pith in the battle to win, we wage even though the chances are thin and the red horizon's growing dim. Still, we prolong the fight. We battle, always battle. In rumbling realms we rattle for life disguised as conflict, where victor and vanquished are part of the play. But surely it's more like ballet, with eager bodies warped for the sake of art in the brace of tedium and the pace of hours to disrupt the occasional crash, a broken toe, a fall from grace, a tumble in lace as the challenge begins, seeking through struggle those few perfect moments that rise from within when balance is found. with no room to hedge and no time to doubt, on a razor sharp edge when all of the elements sink, and to strive for that link is a daily decision. Each moment a test to discover the best you can be. The art of war is to know oneself, and each contest is decided before the beginning. Even the winning of glory and shame. So if life is a game, then maybe the maybes that always appear reveal that ballet and battle are closely related, if not truly one and the same. Peace.
Amazing
And
stuff.
the
Oh, I love your work, man. I'm glad you're here tonight, man.
the second piece I have is not a collaboration. It's called I Poet. I, poet, come to slash and to stab, and to wield phrases like a boxer's jab. I come not to make a safe space, for humankind is not a safe race. I say to those who would cage my pen, to bow to the high and the mighty men, you can go and lick your own jackboot. I pull the tyrant up from the root. I, poet, sing a true earth song, to urge us not to do the earth wrong, to find the chords wounded hearts can hear, and eager eyes that hold the truth dear. For in our dark, ever shaded view, the light is seen by a precious few, and the ones who see are honor bound to light the way to the lost are found. I, poet, shed a lonely tear in the lost days of a hopeless year, as I roam the sick and grieving land, and I hold the mourner's holy hand. I see the low ones no one sees, and despise the aristocracies. I find the small and write them bigger. I, poet, come to pull the trigger. I take my aim and I squeeze slow. I am the herald of the world's woe. I am the voice of the hunted queer. I am the woman many men fear. I point my pen to make the crown fall. I scribble freedom on the prison wall. I blow the horn till it shakes the ground. I poet on until the walls come down. Peace.
Yeah, everybody, unmute yourselves and give it up for Marianne,
Jeez,
the
oh.
poet.
Spoke out these last lines
Oh,
tonight.
man.
Wow.
Well done.
You are definitely a poet, and you are a poet who can change the world. I think keep doing what you're doing with your pen, man. It's amazing. Wow, what a cool night so far.
Thanks,
And
y'all. Appreciate it.
yeah, we got so many more poets in the room tonight. It's gonna be a great show.
They
Coming
roll
up,
like
uh,
mesmerizing sermons and flow like a river with majesty and grace. So
right.
beautiful. And you have certain intonations in there which is sort of repetitive, like a restraint, which just enhances the whole thing, augmenting the piece.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
welcome.
All right, so yeah, on deck we've got Nemo's feature, but stepping up to the plate now we have Marianne Tefft. And Marianne, could you bless us with some words?
Looks like we lost her.
Me?
Yes, you're up
I'm
next.
so sorry.
It's,
I had to
well, we
just
don't mind
step
looking
away
at you
from the
for a while.
screen
You look so
briefly.
pretty.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm sorry that I wasn't on screen earlier, by the way, Thomas. Thank you very much for your contribution. And gentlemen poets, I was grabbing a quick bite here in the back 40. And in order not to delay us too much from the reason we have all come this evening to celebrate Nemo Sum, I'd like to read a poem that I wrote just about this week, a year ago, when I moved back to Canada after almost 25 years. And it's called New Home. My new home is almost entirely of others' design, but naturally so when you leave one house with 2 decades of memories clinging to citrus walls and ochre tile to enter another with all you can carry in 3.5 bags and promise rising from rag-rugged wood floors. There are my baskets of shakers and shells, souvenirs of songs and strands from Amsterdam to Oz, displayed above a humming radiator instead of an airco. The palm frond rainbow fish that has held pride of place since my daughter toted it home from grade 6 art class now swims above a comfy sage green couch, clad in fabric that leaves a swish when stroked with a hand, stumped down a winding staircase by 3 pairs of arms, plenty of clever geometry, and only a little blue language because Cynthia and her husband thought I would like this 3-seater so much more than the futon whose lineage was equal parts sofa and buckboard. Oh, and that espresso machine in the front hall, that's for me too. Not to forget the strong, slim space heater that has quickly become my new best friend. My sliders no longer survey a wide lagoon, strobe lights on the causeway, or midnight sky that embraces 3 islands with arms thrown wide. But as I warm my palms with my Sunday cuppa, contemplative and well rested, I glimpse the winter sleepy backyard through a ground level casement window, grateful to think that these rooms have been fashioned in hospitality and love. A sliver of sun falls across the keyboard, and I am at home. Thank you, everyone.
Everybody, do me a favor, unmute yourselves and give all the love you have for Miss Marianne Tefft.
Marianne. Yes.
Marianne,
Yes.
beautiful.
Woohoo. It's
Very well
amazing.
done. Well done. Good to hear you.
Thank
Thanks,
you. Hope you enjoyed it,
Marianne.
everyone.
Thank you, Marianne. Thank you so much.
Mariana was experiencing and enjoying the deco and ambience of this beautiful home with you in such a vivid and descriptive way. Well done.
And I'm feeling the same way. You know, I was born in New York, raised in Florida, spent 4 years in Alberta, and then came here to BC and found my home. So like I don't know, it really connected with me. That was amazing stuff. Speaking of home and family and things like that, one of the first brothers that I had here in this poetry world, he's been coming to open minds since pretty much the beginning. We call each other and chat, and just bullshit or whatever, like I absolutely love this person so much. And he's featured here for us before, but there was a running joke between uh, Catalyst, myself, Demegas, and Nemo Sum, because Nemo read some poem shortly after I think it was like the week after your feature or something, and Magus was there, but he was so stoned and he heard you. He's like, "Man, we need to feature this guy." I was like, "We just did last week and you were there. Like, what do you like? Go check the YouTube." So there's this running inside joke that we have that anytime Nemo reads, my wife is like, "Man, we need to feature this guy." So I'm so glad to have him back for another feature. I was saying like next year there as soon as we go like it wouldn't be an open minds open mic without a Nemo Soon feature. And I love you and I appreciate everything that you do. You're so inspirational. And I just yeah, I'll go ahead and get this intro. So, Nemo Sum is a writer and mental health advocate who performs poetry and leads workshops to share the healing journey. He is proud to be a member of the Guerrilla Poets, a nonprofit group of artists bringing arts education to their community. What Guerrilla Poets is doing too just blows my mind. You guys keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, I have a workbook too that I'm going to be submitting to Shane to help bring to the community and beyond, right? But yeah, I appreciate everything you do. Here's a little quote from this man right here. I am the paper warrior. I fight the wind. Everybody, do me a favor. Unmute yourselves and give it up for the man tonight, Nemo Sum.
Nemo.
Can't wait to hear you, Nemo.
I love you, buddy.
Thank you so much, everyone. I am so honored that you're here tonight. So I'm still kind of experimenting with the right way to perform in a Zoom space. So tonight, forgive me, I'm going to be kind of experimenting with sometimes I'm going to be reading, and sometimes I'm going to be reciting, and sometimes I might be impromptu telling some stories to give you a little bit of background, but we'll see. So I normally am pretty fast. I come up and I get off quickly. I'm not going to do that tonight. I have a pretty good slate of stuff that I'm going to read tonight, and I also am going to read a short story tonight, which I have not done before. So I'm excited about that. All right. So that being said, let's get into it. It sounds like we've got somebody unmuted. Some background noise.
I got you, bro.
Okay. All right. Trigger warning for vulnerability. Trigger warning for tears that want out so badly they burn. Trigger warning for love laid out on an altar. The sacrificial knife held aloft because some higher power needs proof. Trigger warning for family unfriendly phrases and words that rhyme with fuck. Trigger warning for a poet in pain, writhing in words, talking tragedy, feeling shit, and sharing. Trigger warning for verbal violence, for truth that hits you in the solar plexus, for doors kicked in and secrets dragged out, screaming into the light. Trigger warning for actually being seen, for masks lifted, souls glimpsed, and flaws exposed. Trigger warning for eyes once opened that cannot be closed. Trigger warning for meaning with a capital M. Trigger warning. The person sitting next to you is holding in the hurt. Someone in this room is in crisis, and it's going to take all of us together to get through this shit. Trigger warning, I'm talking to you. This is about us, and what we feel matters. Trigger warning, if you're listening, this could make a difference. If I do my job, these words might trigger you. When I first moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I lived, I worked for one of the big global banks. And I was so happy to have the job that I did whatever they wanted me to whenever they wanted me to. And I used to work ridiculous hours. Used to work late into the night, and go home and sleep for a few hours, get back up and drive back in. I did that for about 15 years, and then everything changed. And I'm very fortunate that now I get to read poetry instead of driving back and forth to work at that bank. But I want to read you a poem about that part of my life, if it will let me. The sky is red, but it isn't burning. It isn't hot. And now it's full of the leather-winged heralds of hopelessness who have screens for faces, ever broadcasting the message of their masters that something once had is lost, or at least it's fading fast. The wicked winds of change are blowing, and I am alone, driving away from the demon city, yellow lights blinking on and off and onto empty roads. And how fast I'm going doesn't matter, because there's no reason to stop. No reason for these tears, hands gripping the steering wheel, too tired to brush away the exhaustion that creeps up my shoulders to my neck. Exhaustion that is going to crawl into my ear canal and make a painful passage to my brain. Maybe it's sulfur I smell, or maybe that's my dinner riding beside me as my senseless passenger, handed to me in a paper bag by another lost soul stranded in a colorful building with only the company of strangers out the window. But we didn't make eye contact for fear of seeing each other's broken heart. Now the sky is black, and my eyelids do nothing to block the sting of the taillights and stoplights out in front of me. I can feel the tower, metal fingers reaching up to reopen the wound in the belly of the beast we call the sky. And the blood looks like light shining up into clouds hanging low instead of souls raining down. For I have been in that tower, watched the goods divided, portioned out with clumsy cuts to be packed in shipping crates, bound for the money men who would never deign to be seen by eyes so unworthy in faces black with soot. Those of you who, I think everyone here knows me and knows what I do is triptychs, 3 thematically connected micropoems. My mind's palace is a labyrinth of my own devising. Halls of neurons twist away into the darkness in all directions from where I stand. So perfect was my design that I cannot escape. And these brave souls who come looking for me become hopelessly lost. There's something in here that feeds on flesh. I see its horns in the mirror sometimes, and I'm never far from its hot and wretched breath. Perhaps I built the maze to hold the monster. Awoke this morning to find myself changed. My jaw is sore from grinding, but that's nothing new. I had to untangle myself from the machine that keeps me sleeping like I do every morning. One machine to make me sleep and one machine to wake me. I will look at myself in the mirror. Maybe I'm afraid to see my true face. Or maybe I can't bear to look into these sad eyes anymore. Some days the horns are heavy and my head is bowed and my mood is dark and my heart feels like it will never heal. When gods meet men, they make monsters. When monsters mate, do they make a man no God would claim? Awoke this morning to find myself changed. I know the ascent all too well. Slopes painted with my spent blood, scattered with the shredded banners of past rallies. It's my heart's deepest desire to get to the top of the hill, but there's this boulder, and it is with me wherever I go. Pushing the great rock upwards has carved grooves in the dirt, and sometimes I follow them, and sometimes I make new ones, and sometimes I want to change the path, but the boulder gets stuck in the ruts. I find myself having to repeat a route I know will end in failure. And I'll watch the boulder roll back down, crushing everything beneath it, bringing me back to the base, looking up, feeling broken. I've been to the top before, but I found a wicked man whose face I've seen in the mirror. So I pushed him and I felt him fall. And I dreamt that my world was tumbling. And I woke at the bottom feeling scared. I'm keeping my head down this time, staying focused on the work. I can feel the weight of the burden shifting as my will grows stronger and the climb begins again. Forgive me, this tablet seems to want to misbehave.
Don't ever apologize for you, man. We'll wait all night if we have to.
Not like its owner doesn't misbehave once in a while
Yeah,
either.
right? I mean, come on now. It's
Fair
learn from
enough.
I'm so glad to see you smile, Nemo. I swear. These poems just make someone just have to drive where you are and just give you so many hugs. I need to see you smile sometimes, brother. Jesus.
Nemo, you're
Oh, now
killing
you
it.
got
And
him blushing now too. We got a smile and a blush from that.
That's
Nemo,
yeah.
you're bringing the old stuff tonight. You're bringing the old stuff tonight. Go on, kill it.
Thank you. All right, this one, the tablet's not going to work with me, so I'm going to try to run this from memory, because I want to do this. Your words give my mind harpies the purchase they've been waiting for. Landing amongst the details of your concerns, they sneer and taunt and bare their bloody bosoms. Do you ever have a day where you don't want to be awake, but staying in bed means more nightmares? Do you ever wake up to find depression waiting in the hallway in all her splendor? Do you ever feel like you're trapped in a glass box? You can't touch anything. Everything is separated from you by a cool, lifeless pain. Do you ever get to the point where you haven't eaten because that would require making a decision, and that's too much to ask right now? Do you ever believe that everyone is upset and disappointed with you? You've used up the last of your friends' goodwill and support, and now you truly are alone. Do you ever I'm sorry.
I said, don't ever apologize for yourself. Just try to memorize it. Even if you ain't got the words, you got it
Yeah,
because you notice it.
yeah, sorry, it's coming. Do you ever believe that your words aren't getting through, wasted, sent into the empty? Do you ever feel bad, and the only reason is that your mood has decided to fuck with you today? Do you ever need to cry? Do you ever want to scream? Do you ever have one of those days? The mind harpies dance and frenzy, waggling their tails, pointing to something pure, to be spoiled and defiled. Sorry, hold on a second. To be spoiled and defiled, a place to descend, to perch, to tear the flesh of memory. I'm going to put my heart right here on this table where you can see it, feel it, put your fingers in the holes in it. Why not? Cut it down the middle. I'll hold the knife, though my hands might shake a little. We can tear it apart together. I'll help. Act now, because I'm gone tomorrow, and I'm taking what's left of this heart when I go. Sometimes they whisper, and sometimes they get up right in my face. Their spit burns, and their breath smells like shame. Tearing tissue with razor talons, they claw at the arteries that feed the part of me where hope still lives. I'm monitoring swarm size, measuring wing shapes, noting markings. Are there fractals in their feathers? I'm analyzing the waveforms of their screeches, looking for consistencies, hoping for patterns, trying to make some sense of their calls. I'm learning to navigate through the tangle of talons, trying to remember that the cuts are only ever skin deep, that I will heal eventually. That even when the sun is blotted out by beating wings, it's still there. All right. Now we've reached the point where I would like to read you a short story that I wrote almost 10 years ago. I went for a very long time where I denied myself access to the arts. The only connection that I kept was I wrote short stories, sometimes twice a year for a party that we had where we would all come together and write short stories. So this is something I wrote during that time period. This is called The Keeper. The fire pops and crackles, sparks jumping playfully up and out as an ashen log finally succumbs and breaks in half. The fire has been well tended and the air inside is warm. although the cold seeps in through the walls and hides in the corners. It will win eventually, but not now, while the fire is strong. Outside, the wind tears at the walls of the house, trying to remove the aberration of its structure. Someday, the stones will tumble, long after the thick glass of the windows has been broken and pulverized. But that day is not today, and the stones hold strong against the persistence of the wind as she howls in frustration. He watched it coming hours ago. He stood on the rocks overlooking the sea and had to shield his eyes from the sun. On the horizon was the black line growing ever larger. He stood there for a long time just looking at it. As the gray and black clouds rolled and boiled in slow motion, he saw the flickering fingers of lightning in amongst them. He had tried to breathe in as much of the sun as was left in the day, but he could already feel the urgency of the storm. Now he sits in the armchair by the window, his weathered fingers wrapped around a well-used mug. He swirls the dregs and the remaining liquid before downing it. This, the most bitter swallow, is his favorite part. He can't drink the coffee in the village anymore. With the flavor fading on his tongue, he turns his thoughts to the climb ahead. The staircase is steep and hard, but fair. When the sea is high and wild, she reaches up for him, grabbing at the cloth of his pants, trying to pull him playfully into the waves, unaware that her affection will break his body against the rocks someday. He thinks about how the wind lashes out at him, screaming in his ear and trying to rake his eyes with her fingernails. He fills his mind with the steps and counts them off as he imagines the feel of them under his feet. For a moment, he feels himself slipping, the moment when his boots let go, and he feels a touch of panic in his mouth. He pushes it away and starts his counting again. He pictures himself reaching the top of the stair where he can make the last of the ascent within the protection of the lighthouse walls. He tries again to picture the face of the men on the ships miles from him as they scramble to keep above the surging waves. He tries to picture them with their families, smiling with their children. He tries to imagine the feeling of hope they might feel when they see his beacon through the rain. He is calm again and sure. The coat is part of him, his other skin. His fingers fasten the buttons with the care that comes with countless repetition. The weight on his shoulders feels right to him. Now fastened against the night, he is for a moment too warm, although he tries to soak it in. With a long, slow breath, he takes the handle of the inner door and closes it behind him. Taking one final moment for himself in the relative quiet, he opens the outer door and is swallowed into the commotion of the night. The fire pops and crackles, sparks jumping playfully up and out as an ashen log finally succumbs and breaks in half. The fire has been well tended, and the air inside is warm, although the cold seeps in through the walls and hides in the corners. It will win eventually, but not now while the fire is still strong. I'm going to now jump to, I'm going to read two short poems. I guess they're micros, but they're kind of pushing the boundaries. We're going to see if this tablet's going to cooperate with me. I remember when smiling felt better than this. I'm in a negative zone outside the storm, where everything gray has been replaced with something gray. My psychiatrist spotted depression over my shoulder while I rattled off my daily data. I couldn't see her, but I imagine her dress was gray. He didn't say. But these little white pills should make her go away. I want to write a poem about my friend who died, but the words don't feel right in my mouth. So I have to spit them out and wait another day. I wish I could write him a song. Instead, I keep this vigil and watch her while she works her brush until the red is gone and the green is gone and the blue is gone and the air is heavy with her. I ache for the violence of the storm, but I would never tell my doctor that. So I listen for the sound of distant thunder while he's talking and watch the rain over his shoulder. In July of 2019, I walked into my first in-person open mic, and it was put on by the Guerrilla Poets, an organization I'm now very proud to be a part of here in Charlotte. And one of the people in attendance was Mr. Witz. And after I got up and read my poems, which I did, I was shaking. I was drenched in sweat and shaking reading these two poems. Mr. Witz, after the show, came up to me and excitedly, so excitedly, told me that this was a temple of poetry and that he welcomed me and he wanted me to come back and share my poetry again and how welcome I was. And that man has never from that day wavered in that welcoming, nurturing, loving approach. And we call each other food dogs. Food dogs are actually a misnomer. They're lions, or at least the representations are supposed to be lions that guard temples. So this is a poem that I wrote dedicated to Mr. Witz, my food dog. I watched three birds flying above great stone eagles guarding a bridge and thought of you. How you've watched over me. Stone sentinels poised to catch the wind when the call comes. No one ever summons like those lost in time. Soldiers who drowned in mud, sailors whose bodies will never find dirt, mothers with nothing to bury but grief. We tell ourselves comfort stories, how they died fighting. But bombs bursting in bellies don't care. They're just gone. Does the stone remember them? Will these lines? You taught me to honor the voices we carry. We poets observe flights and make verses of them. We defenders of meaning. Are these words worth the vigilance? Brackish bits of beauty in the mind-numbing morass of the mechanism? Is this temple worth guarding? These formations fly to their fate while we wait, fleeting wings searching for something that isn't going to last, while our watch lasts lifetimes. This piece is dedicated to the Magus. I had an opportunity to read the first draft of this poem to him before he passed, and he said it was his favorite thing that I had ever written, so I've dedicated it to him. This is called Packaged. It's one of my rare title poems. So many times I've watched this good thing get packaged, gone from fresh on a shelf to wrapped in plastic in a barrel, 2 for $5 and 6 on Sunday, and it all tastes the same these days. But fuck it. We got 30 kinds of Oreos, so we're going to be okay when the bombs come down. Nothing sold here is made here. And no one who works here is making a dime. You can't call to get the hours because nobody's answering. Nowhere is safe when everyone is for sale, never was, and none of us are free. I found out today they make milk that tastes like what's left behind when the cereal's gone. Who bathes in this wastewater, believing it blessed? Who feels fortunate having polished off the Lucky Charms, finding a warm soup of sticky milk their prize, and thinks, this is nose in bowl good. This fulfills me. This validates a soul emptied by too many jingles, too many reasons to spend, to put those hard-earned dollars to work. 2 boxes of smiles, 2 times divided, 3 times free, and 4 times through the checking lane. No, you can't write a check. We don't do that anymore. We wear plastic chains these days. But fuck it. They gave me a payment plan. So we're going to get through this. One step, one day, $1, $2 at a time. Okay, this may sound odd, but now I'm going to try to lighten the mood just a little bit. Growing up, I was absolutely fascinated by the work of the poets who kind of specialized in children. Of course, Goodnight Moon, Margaret Atwood, Shel Silverstein, later Lewis Carroll. I have a deep love for the poem Jabberwocky. So this is a reply to Lewis Carroll, Maurice Sendak, Dr. Seuss, Shel Silverstein, Margaret Atwood, whose work inspired me to imagine. Oboe rowboat potato salad sandwich. Tomato, banana, hamster in a cabbage. Big fellow, rubella, rabbi, and a handbike. Firecracker, walrus tracker, chocolate-covered espresso beans. Schnickel Fritz, penguin lips, angry newts withhold their answer. Samurai, pumpkin pie, are those monkeys in the sky? Edward Teach, Rapid Peach, your dinner guests were not invited. Snaggletooth, supple sleuth, noodle, kangaroo. You see, cheese doodle, standard poodle, crackers, and a slow pitch. Crocodile, domicile, mud huts by an old hutch. Wacky tobacco, where are the good lackeys? No one is inside my shoe. Submarine, guillotine, whatever will I do? Bubblegum on my thumb, this is a pleasant Tuesday. Ukulele, private navy, skipping on a sidewalk. Understanding, bumpy landing, being upside down. Railroad, data node, information superhighway. You see, you have to understand. Donut hole, casserole, khaki slacks, and rubber sneakers. Garbanzo beans, giant screens, grandpa's inside out. Figgy pudding, where you heading? I'll be over here. Velociraptor, car adapter, disestablishmentarianism. Petrol pump, heffalump, there's spiders in the dandelions. Silly strumpet, lumpy crumpet, angry tepid trees. Public speaker, half-filled beaker, your answers under there. Call me crazy, pluck my daisy, salt this underwear. What I'm trying to say is broken rhino, green albino, you'll need to put the nozzle down. Unrelenting bugs inventing, we'll forage on our knees. Studebaker, taffy maker, soft like kittens' mittens. Coriander, new belt sander, howl like a lizard wizard. Dark matters, love scatters, hearts in dervish twirls. Music box, money talks. I have your husband in my pants. Leaf litter, death critter, bring your long ships up the shore. Surfboard, marked and scored, falling sadly in the winds. You'll have to forgive me for saying, waxy bloom, silver moon, wobbly little elf. Single slice, good advice, dappled summer shadow. Dean of students, home improvements, consubstantiality. Pork and biscuits, you can kiss it, queen of hospitality. Creme de mint, succulent, apple dumpling gang. Squeaky hinge, crooked fringe, big, bombastic, bang. Snicker snack, lumberjack, lightning in the pie. Raven fingers, kinda lingers. Where did my manners go? This may come as a surprise, but aspirations, penetration, there's holes inside your cargo pants. Zombie brain goes jalapenos, discombobulation. Hovercraft, Howard Taft, the thick are taking over. Underscore, umbrella store. There's something in this stroller. Tonic water, toxic blotter, whose ink is in this squid? Lily pad, Galahad, who ate the katydid? Cicada killer, errant miller, no vorpal blade will help you now. The slivy toves have gone out grabe, and so returns the Jabberwock. I live with bipolar type 1. And I've had a couple of psychotic breaks that have resulted in my being hospitalized. And I'm very fortunate. This marks the 5th year that I've had where I've not had any events. It's great. But 5 years ago, the last psychotic break that I had in hospitalization was pretty traumatic. So I've written some poems about that. So we went kind of light with the return of Jabberwocky. I'm afraid we're going to descend now again into some heavier stuff. I was too focused on the restraints to feel the needle, but I felt the drug. The tightness in my chest let go just a little to let the fresh wound breathe. She put her hand on my arm and she just left it there the whole ride. But we didn't talk. She didn't make eye contact. Screaming into the phone got me a pass to the special place where screaming people go. Then everything stopped. A young man stood next to me as we stared out the window together. He told me I was the first person he'd met who had hope. Hey, fear, I remember when you used to lie beside me at night, whispering in my ear while I was trying to sleep, that someone was coming through the window, that those horrible things I saw in the movies would happen for real to me. And I wonder, were you trying to distract me from the horrors of my home? From the wicked words hurled at my head in the daylight hours? Were you trying to be my friend? If so, why did I always feel so alone? I remember when I finally let you go and accepted that if I did die, at least I wouldn't be afraid anymore. And I was warm and safe, and I curled up and fell asleep. I felt a presence that night watching over me, but that couldn't have been you, could it? Lying in a hospital bed some 30 years later, while you told me that no one would ever love me again, that same someone sat down on my bed to soothe me to sleep. Did you see who it was? I would very much like to talk to them again. The hospital called today, but the phone didn't ring. I felt an echo of the shower on the second floor. I saw flashes of color as the staff ran down the hall. I heard the song in the hot air of the courtyard while we, the committed, walked round and round and round. And this poem is called, they used to call them asylums. I found solace in a shower they couldn't take away. The feel of the scrubs against my damp body pacing in my room. The chair sitting in the corner waiting patiently to see if I would try to put it through the unbreakable window. Alone in a hallway of isolated men, I lay on my pallet in the dark. The light flashing on my face every 30 minutes, in time with the broken clock in my head. I felt a presence that night sitting behind me on the bed and wondered who it was, come to witness my burning dreams of martyrs and the misunderstood. Released into the wild without shoes, in clothes found in a hospital closet, I drove around a city where I no longer belonged. Feet in socks pushing pedals, looking for a place to sleep, a place to eat, a place to start over. The screeches of my mind harpies made me unwelcome, and the threat of my broken sanity kept me away. So I fought on new ground with new faces and new words. What does it take to survive the ordeal? Separated but never alone, mortally wounded but alive, hopeless but still pushing back, a paper warrior in the wind. Torn and stitched, broken and mended, cracks filled, the garbage phoenix rises to spread its wings again. Behold. This next piece is like the Mind Harpies piece. I've been calling them micro sequences because it's a sequence of micropoems. Originally, it was doing 3, and I called them triptychs. But then I found I wanted to play more with 4, 5, 6. So I'm just calling them sequences. So this is one. Sad King John was just a boy when his reign began. Handed a crown instead of a handkerchief when the crying wouldn't stop. Now it scrapes and screeches as he drags it along behind him. One last time past the playground where I realized that I was alone. One more time round the wheel where I played, creating companions in my head, and I'll miss them, my phantom friends. But I need to grab the handles on my bike one last time. Use the pedals to push my way past the bullshit and into the blissful ignorance of something that doesn't know, that doesn't have to know about being an adult, about being betrayed in love, about being collateral damage, about being used as a weapon, hardened like a bunker buster. Because I remember how my mom told me the words I should say to my dad when I was 6, and she was angry when I got it wrong, like a little boy would. Sad King John looks out on his court and finds the eyes of his Grand Vizier, who wants more than anything to get away to another court where he could be a winner on a winning team. He's a Grand Vizier after all. The jester, festooned in colors whose job it is to make it hurt, knows he isn't funny because he only says what he sees. Here is the general who is trying to amass enough strength to finally take all these decorations down. The nurse who soothes his majesty with her promises, but she's still just a little girl herself and doesn't know what she's saying. He has so much potential, they said, if only he would apply himself. But I didn't. Books stayed closed, and I played imaginary games with imaginary friends whose mothers waved from imaginary porches. I wish I could have defied my parents all along, but there was so much shame and too much doubt. So many times my face burned at their disappointment, my head bowed by their guilt. I learned to fight myself, learned to hate the dreamer who looked out the window instead of working, foreshadowing the day I would stare into the distance, an unmarked test in front of me, penned down, heartbroken, the day after my father left for good. My anonymity became my refuge. Odysseus said it to save his life. When he got home, he killed everyone. I say it to save my dignity. There is no one who calls me son. Someday, somebody, maybe. For now, I am no one. Sad King John would like to say hello. Or Sad King John would like to confess. Sad King John would like to explain how he messed it up. Or Sad King John would like to show you the fragments and tell you which elbow did the bumping and offer to pay generously for the damages. Sad King John would like to stop being so loud. Maybe he's too quiet. Or Sad King John would like to stop saying stupid stuff when he was trying to be nice. What does nice mean anyways? Or Sad King John would like to sing, but he doesn't. Or Sad King John would like to apologize for how few lines he's written. and how often he speaks them, and how bored you all must be. Sad King John would like to create something beautiful, or Sad King John would like to smash it all to bits. Sad King John knows why they left. Sad King John would like to watch the city lights blink and hear the hum of the cars passing by and be still. Or Sad King John would just like to say good night. I was supposed to be the second coming of my father. A scholar or a ditch digger, he would say, but I never could sit still long enough to become learned. So when I was handed a shovel, I didn't ask questions. I dug until my sweat became flames that burned flesh from bone, until my heart was charred and all that I had been was consumed. But embers left glowing return. Ashes become feathers, feathers become flames, and the phoenix flies free. And I'm going to finish tonight with a poem that I like to. It's kind of my walk-off poem. So this is called "Let the Bells Ring," and the title comes from a song by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds that I've always loved. Mr. Grief left his card for next time, now that the path is clear and the storm ain't so bad anymore. The smell of lightning rises from the ashes now that the house has burned to the ground. The peals of thunder are barely audible as the storm crawls away. So let the bells ring. Blows landed did their damage, but the pounding's done. Black eyes and broken hearts, there's still rage in this ragged man. Holding on to ropes to stay standing, but I was never strong. This fighter doesn't get to fall. So let the bell ring. Feelings damned made death's dance seductive until putting my shoulder down pushed the dark back enough to get the words out. But demon songs still echo in my ears no matter how much I heal. So let hell ring. I've had my bell rung, been stung, flung. I've fallen, but I never had wings. Always too far from heaven to be heard, but still spitting scripture like some devil's son. So let the muse sing. May these verses resonate. May they give you fuel to fight. Maybe we can spend what we have left feeling less alone. Grabbing hands, healing hearts, listening. I'm listening. I'm still listening. So let the bells ring. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you so very much. Everybody at this time, please do me a huge favor. Unmute yourselves and give all the love you have.
Go, Nemo! Go, Nemo!
Nemo.
Awesome.
Beautiful set, man. Fucking great set.
Awesomeness.
Great work, Nemo.
Very proud of you, Nemo. Well done, sir. As I fully expected, You came fully prepared, and you just gave a clinic on how to do a feature.
Yeah, straight up. And
And see
hey,
that,
we should
Nemo, I'm
feature
glad
this
I was
guy.
able to come in. I tapped in a little late, but I feel like I'm right on time. Your work is always powerful to me, brother. I just love hearing you work. And when you have the time to express it like you do, um, man, just fucking phenomenal, dog. Phenomenal.
Fucking epic, man.
Oh, thank you.
Really forceful work, Nemo, and a pleasure to experience. You have an amazing a gift, a way of making kind of subject matter, where you're talking so much about state of emotion and state of mind, and you have this way of making it so materially and viscerally tangible. And I think that's just a real gift you have for enabling people who listen to you recount your experiences really do feel what you're talking about. You really bring people along with you through those journeys and those transformations and those conflicts and overcomings. So I find that a particular quality of generosity that's really rare and hard to achieve.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
And I want to tag on to not just that, but originality as well and inspirational. I actually came up with another concept for a poem while I was listening to your feature, that I'll present to you sometime soon, Nemo, because you're that inspirational. Everybody, one more time, unmute yourselves and give it up for an amazing feature by Nemo Sum.
Ooh.
Yay.
Nemo, great work, my friend. I love you.
Nemo. Woohoo.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So great. Thank you so much, Nemo, man. Oh, you crushed it tonight too. And the technology was even like breaking down. Like we don't have the technology to be able to fully capture a feature from you yet, but we're working on it. I got the guys at NASA and everything. We're working on being able to get a full feature from you without technology buggering you up. But yeah, once again, thank you so much. And thank you just for being you and being honest with yourself and with everyone that you meet. And thank you for being a brother to me. I really appreciate you and I love you, man. Wow, what a show so far, guys. And we still have so many more poets on the lineup. Uh, we've got Rich Boucher coming on deck. But next on the stage, we've got this wonderful woman right here, Madux. I haven't seen you in a while. I miss you. You're part of Gorilla Poets. You're part of Nemo's transformation into this amazing spirit that he is now, right? See,
That's
he's
all on me. That's all on Nemo's heart.
no, you see him not.
My Duke's been huge in giving me a place to grow and develop as a person and a poet, as a guerrilla poet. So yeah, instrumental.
And vice versa, and as a friend. I mean, you helped me grow as a friend, and that is an amazing thing. Yeah, I haven't been around. I've been emotionally stunted with some things that have been going on in my family and then the world. I love Nemo's work, but I'm about to flip the script on y'all. Part of this poem will remind you of Martin Niemöller's poem, and I hope I'm saying his last name correctly, that was written after the Holocaust. This poem was originally written in response to Virginia Bill H.J. 9, which seeks to overturn their state constitutional amendment and once again ban gay marriage. However, this poem can be in response to so many things since that, and it was only written 7 days ago. It's called In the Face of oppression, resistance is necessary. It's never going to happen, they said. Nothing to worry about, they said. You woke people are snowflakes. It's all hyperbole. He isn't going to roll back any rights. You're safe. No one is coming after you. First, they came for the Black and Indigenous people. Then they came for the migrants. And then they came for the trans folk. And they came for all queer folk. Then they came for a woman's right to her own body. And then they came for no-fault divorce. Then they came for mixed race marriage. And then they came for white women. And all that was left were cis white men in so-called power on the hellscape that was once the United States of America. We trusted in God, but got the Antichrist instead. The Statue of Liberty ran away home, clutching her pearls after watching the collapse of the Golden Dome. Robber barons usher in a new gilded age, not caring about the building rage, trusting the locks on the cage built with the silence of the good men who did nothing until they came for them. America the beautiful, America, the land of the free. Anyone can achieve the American dream here. A dream lined with fleece nightmares force-fed to the masses by talking heads with puppet master hands up their asses, saying what they want us to believe instead of our own two eyes, our own two ears. Cognitive dissonance is real, but our schools never taught us to recognize propaganda when they see it. No, no, no. Critical thinking is not allowed. Training grounds, schools, keep them just smart enough to work the underpaid, undervalued jobs that keep this country moving. Keeping higher education out of the financial reach of most to keep criticism from those that need criticized. So they stay in their bubble of security that their money is purchased for them. Excuse me. And those who dare to step out of line, to speak out, well, now they go to a different pipeline. You got the school to factory pipeline, but the darker side of the dark side is the school to prison pipeline, sending typically little brown and Black bodies to juvie for unknown offenses to keep those beds full and the CEO's pockets fuller, turning them over to adults with no chance of childhood, that is, if they even survive the encounter. Being woke is a sin. But being a fucking rapist isn't. Being a liar isn't. Wanting fellow human beings to have a home, food, clean water, health care, and the fucking basics makes one woke. Wanting this country to actually live up to the words with liberty and justice for all somehow makes a person the enemy within. Put a red W on their chest. My God, they went woke. Can't have woke here, you see. No empathy, no sympathy. No, 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 none of that here. Pull yourself up by invisible bootstraps, but the boots have no soles and the straps wore out long ago. As bodies worked into early graves, past debt to grandchildren not yet born, while the top few pass on generations of wealth built on those bodies, hoarding it like a dragon hoards gold, killing anyone the beast deems unworthy of even one coin, protected at all costs. The only race they care about is the one to being the richest, while damning the human race to a hell of its own making. Eat the rich, destroy the billionaire class, fuck Nazis, and give our government back to the people. That's my piece.
God damn, man. Everybody,
I
please
told you, baby, I was angry.
Yeah, hey, and
Hell
I'm glad you're right
yeah.
again. It's so good to see and hear from you again. And yo, everybody, unmute yourselves and give all the love you got from my Dukes
Yes,
and the Gorilla
my
Folk.
Dukes.
Wow.
You should get
Incredible.
angry more often, Ma
Yeah, right.
Dukes.
Yeah, I'm
That
gonna start
was
poking the
so
bear just so we can
awesome.
get.
Thank
you
you
Really,
very
this
much.
place,
Appreciate
the
y'all.
world needs somebody like you speaking out loudly
Yeah.
all the time like that, for sure.
Well, my pen has been working much more since this one, and I think the depression is gone. And I hope that I can give even one person's voice to their impotent rage that a lot of us feel right now.
Well, you have. I'm not one person. You just did that for me. Thank you so much for everything you do, Ma. I love you and I miss you. I hope to see more of you. Hope to hear from more from you. Keep that pen going. It's on fire. It's
Thank y'all
sparked up,
for
Linda.
such a loving and welcoming welcome back. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are just what I needed in this dark world today. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
That's what we're here for, Ma. We got you. And yeah. Speaking of people coming back and all this too, we got a ton of people that I haven't seen in a minute. We got Mark States on deck. Mark, I miss you, ain't seen you in a minute. But coming up next on the on deck, we got on the plate, we got Rich Boucher, right?
Hey, it's Rich Boucher here. Thank you very much
Boucher.
for.
I wanted to get the enunciation correct on that because I forgot because I haven't seen you. Like I said, I haven't seen you in a while. So, but yeah, if you could bless us with some words, brother, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, I really appreciate that. A lot of. I'm not a big fan of this expression, but there's a lot of fire in the mic tonight, which I appreciate quite a bit. I got news recently that this poem has been accepted for publication in an online literary journal called Pulp. And this is I've been in the trenches in customer service and retail for a few decades, and one war that I long for is the eventual war. It'll happen in 2027, starting in May, between the cashiers and the rude customers. And that will be a war that I will watch in full color on TV and make sure that I've got it all downloaded. This poem is called So Sorry About the Wait. We're sorry about the wait for your meal. It's hard to express how sorry we are about the wait. In 1,000 lifetimes, we could never convey the depth of our sorrow about the wait that you have had to endure for your burger meal. We are so sorry that you had to wait for us to finish helping another customer before helping you. Please understand that while there is nothing that we can do about that, if we could, we would be very happy to take our own lives so that you can be happy and have your burger meal a little faster. It's taking a bit longer to make your fries, and so we are very, very sorry about the wait. It's unbelievable how sorry we are. In fact, we wonder if we have any right to live at all. In fact, we might actually take our own lives tonight after work because of how long you have had to wait for your meal. Maybe take a cyanide pastel and bite down with our teeth so that foam comes out of our mouths just like in the movies. Maybe we'll just shut the window over our neck in the drive-thru so that you can see how serious we are about your satisfaction as a customer. We are so very, very sorry about the wait. We don't know what to do. We thought there was a God. Christ on a crutch. We thought there was a whole meaning to this life, but after you mentioned how long you've had to wait for this burger meal with that tone in your voice, we wonder if anything makes sense at all anymore. How much does a spool of piano wire cost? We're just wondering. We mean, what sense is there in happiness or love or faith or devotion when you, the customer, have had to wait an additional 3 minutes so that your fries can be fresh for your meal? We are so very, very sorry. Would you like to hurt us? Would you like to hit us in our faces? Would you like to penetrate us with an object? It's incredible how sorry we are. Fuck. We just came to the thought of that. Maybe life's a B-grade horror movie. Maybe life is just a full, empty satire about the fullness and emptiness of life. We just don't know anymore. And the reason we don't know anymore is because you mentioned how angry you were about having to wait a little longer for your burger meal, that tone you used. Well, we are sorry about the wait. We are also sorry for the wait. We said we were sorry. What else can we do for you? Would you like it if we died for you? In response to your frustration with the wait and the wait, we have already ordered some razor blades from Amazon, and we have a bathtub back here in which we can empty ourselves using those razors if you'd like, since your burger meal took a little longer than you wanted to be waiting for. Please pull up to the next window. Please have your money ready. Please, we have kids. Please, we have a family. Please don't hurt our families. Thanks for listening.
Wow. Everybody, do me a favor and unmute yourself and give it up for the wait.
Rich.
Yes, thank you.
Rich.
That was awesome.
Rich.
Woohoo.
Hell yeah.
That was dope, man. I really love wordplay and puns and like just well the concept of it too is so like simple and playful yet very you know heavy, right? It's like a very light kind of concept, but also has a packs a punch to it. And so yeah, I
It's
appreciate
Thank you
that.
very
wonderful
much.
testimony. It was wonderful testimony to, a kind of common everyday relationship that people don't even recognize, which of course is so much about what your poem was talking to.
That's awesome.
Like I said, I long for the world war between the cashiers and retail workforce and the customers who have seriously been asking for it all this time.
And I just joined that site. I'm going to be running a shop with my wife, Catalyst, doing overnight security and running the shop for 4 to 5 days a week. So I get you there. I've been working since Monday there in the retail. Usually I'm a tech guy working on the backside, but now I'm up front serving people and I still get you there.
Well,
So
don't take any shit. If they start to come
yeah.
at you and try to make you feel bad, come right back and make them feel so bad that they have to be told it gets better.
Right. Luckily, I have some wonderful customers. This valley is just full of amazing people. So I haven't come across a rude customer yet, but when I do, I tell you better strap up. There's a war 2027 coming. Uh, thank you again so much, Rich. Everybody, one more time, unmute yourselves and give it up for Rich.
Yeah.
Now, I had gotten a private message here from Elaine Hill, who I believe is their first time. She says she had to hit the road. She's gonna be on the road for a bit, so she's just listening. But Elaine, I was wondering if you had time to share with us before you had to go. We would welcome that.
Hey, I'm already in the dark, but I haven't started driving yet. I would have to pull up.
Perfect time.
I'm literally sitting in
Well,
my
so
driveway.
while you're pulling up this poem sitting in your driveway, there's a thing that we like to do to new folks here, and it's just
Oh
a big
no.
warm welcome. So you guys know the
Okay.
routine. Everybody unmute yourselves, give a big open mind, open
Woo.
heart, open arms welcome to Elaine Hill.
Welcome.
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 Come
Welcome
back.
in.
Elaine is a guerrilla poet.
All
Oh,
Don't
right.
oh yeah.
Awesome.
don't
I don't believe
drive
I've met
off
her.
yet.
Yeah, don't
I'm
drive
not
off yet. You
driving
got
yet.
words. You got
You're gonna
words to
have,
share with us.
I do. Y'all gonna have the light of the computer screen? Like it's gonna be creepy. I wish I had a creepy poem to read. I am gonna read, and which means I have to find my poems. Oh shoot, I'm not gonna have internet. Hold up. We are problem solving. Y'all may not be able to see me at all because I'm gonna have
Oh
to
no, we
open
can see you.
poems on
That's
my
fine.
phone. It's better
We'll
that way
see you. Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah. We'll see you some other time. We want to hear you. We're poets. We're not models, right?
See, there we go. Okay, this is like legit new shit. Haven't put it anywhere. Wrote it a few days ago, so it's pretty rough. Kind of fun, I think, but still rough. All right. This is a public service warning about toddlers. If you love one or know one, it's okay. They won't know or care that you are talking about them, unless they do, which is why we have this warning. See, toddlers don't care about you. They really like to play. Have you ever seen a toddler play? It's all in, bins dumped and everything spread knee-deep over everywhere. And then they just up and crawl away, baby King Kong style, through the bombed-out playroom debris. One time, I found a toddler's pacifier in the dryer vent. I'm sure it was hand-delivered when my mom was trying to use the restroom in peace. Toddlers' lives are creative chaos, a disastrous delight, a joyful tirade. Toddlers don't know chill, wide open until they fall headfirst into sleep. It's all or nothing with these babies. So, but the warning. Toddlers may seem sweet in their play, their affection, but don't be fooled by those emerging cheesing teeth. These innocent ones can be vicious when everything doesn't go their way. Exactly. You see, when a toddler wants some juice, toddlers don't know chill. They may cry or scream or throw themselves floor puddle style until juice is delivered. And if the toddler wants juice, say, in the middle of a car ride or library or shopping trip where juice isn't readily available at our fingertips, can we tell little Lottie that she can have juice later? Oh no, it's now or never, baby. Cue the screaming, crying, meltdown central. It's juice, not a necessity, or so you think. But there's no rationalizing when a toddler's got your brain. They want their juice because it's the only option that quenches their thirst for ideal in their minds. Not to mention, if a toddler wants orange juice and all we have is fruit punch, cup launched out the window, charge that one to the order for lunch. Toddlers merely demonstrate the way we all feel when life doesn't give us what we truly wish was real. Or if a child grabs a toy from a toddler, did you know the first thing that happens? Nothing peaceful. Vengeance is mine, says the two-something. The clamber over another person's body to retrieve said plaything. There is calculated, goal-oriented direction and no social cue that will stop them. The toy is theirs. It is simple when the world revolves around them. You know what the best thing for a toddler is? Parenting. A parent who will come close without being hit by the flailing and say, I'm listening. What do you need? This is a hard moment. I see. What can I do to bring you peace? Toddlers are just learning how to speak, to be, to communicate all the nuanced versions of things that they need. They are tyrants, sociopaths, sages, musicians, comedians, and angels in diapers. And they need effective expressions mirrored to them by loving caregivers. This public service warning isn't actually about toddlers, because we all have at least one toddler living inside of our brains. Because it's hard when friends turn and betray us, take our toy, our friends, our character, and drag it, or maybe a loved one says something in hurried anger, and it still hurts to this day. The pain is real in the awkward of trying new things. Really, it takes time and energy in the new of creating, or when you set an expectation, fill out the application, and its reality doesn't take. That's a pain no one can take away. This toddler inside of all of our brains needs someone to hold them and tell them it'll be okay. When pain comes in from any of the expanding sources, we learn to sit and notice and help ourselves move through it. When someone steals our toy, our joy, when we don't get our juice right away, or something to eat before practice, how often do we just want to throw it all away? Toddler brain is a real thing because toddlers are awesome at expression. And we get to practice good parenting by seeing that we get to give ourselves options. Now that we no longer need to crawl along the ground, we get to choose how to be in the world. This means we get to love even the crazy toddler days of our brains. Sometimes we'll throw our sippy cups or clamber over our friends or refuse to eat our lunch, but we get to acknowledge that our sweet little inside toddler needs to be heard and pull their fists out of harm's way for self and anyone else in range. Growing up means we have the part of our brain that learns to live with a 2-year-old who doesn't know chill. to play hard and create and laugh and love unabashedly. And we parent our toddler while we apologize and clean up after the mess and the socially awkward little one before moving to another room. So take this public service announcement and apply it. Beware of all the toddlers in this room. No, we're all trying our best to grow up just a little more every day, but not too much, because life's too short not to go all in and play.
Wow. Thank you. Do you have a
You're
second
welcome.
piece for us? Or
Oh,
do you have to
I
pull out
mean,
of the driveway? I mean, we would love
9/11.
to hear more if you got time. I don't want to
Thank
hold
you.
you up, from where you got to go, but
No, we're good. I'm already like 5 hours late. It's fine. It's the story of my life. It's fine.
excellent. Hey, just blame it on poetry. No,
Listen, and sometimes poetry is needed.
yeah.
That's for sure. Let's see. Ooh, the first one that came up was real heavy.
We like heavy.
I mean, we did feature
We
Nemo
like
Sum
heavy.
tonight.
We did feature Nemo. I mean, this is
He
like
wasn't
a.
coming with poems about butterflies and whatnot.
I have a poem about butterflies that we all know. Well, those who know my poetry know.
No, yeah, no,
poem.
you've got to do the butterfly piece now, if
Do
you
you
don't
want me
mind.
to
was
do the
pretty
butterfly
kismet. I
piece?
just
Please
called that
do the
out and I
butterfly
had no
piece.
idea.
You
So
you literally just called that one out,
yeah,
and
and I didn't
sometimes I
even
have it.
mean to. Like that was, yeah.
Sometimes I have it memorized, but I don't trust my memory these days. So okay. So this I don't. This is the butterfly poem. I think it might have a title, but we call it the butterfly poem. People ask if I ever write nature poems because poetry, like two roads diverging, yellow wood, red wheelbarrows and chickens, natural things. Yet I see a picture of a butterfly perched on a red zinnia, and I want to know, do butterflies ever feel rage? Does their entire chest swell with the exploding of each tiny cell with the belief that it's got to be different somewhere, somehow? Do butterflies ever get tired of being so fucking fragile? The dance on the wind feeling like only 2 wing beats away from concussion, a fight to stay off windshields and out of bird beaks. Maybe I'm a poet because I like metaphors, and haven't they had enough fighting already? Remember how this insect got its regal flight? It didn't happen overnight. Chronic illness, divorce with kids, or chrysalis. That butterfly spends 8 to 12 days inside a shell that used to be its skin as it completely metamorphosizes and becomes mush and broken hopes inside. I just like metaphors. Do you think the butterfly is happy in there? If it had a mouth, it would be screaming. If it had legs, it would be running the other way. Isn't it convenient that the shell of the old held it in place until the entirety of the process unfolded? What does a butterfly's scream sound like? Does the purple bloomed along the road feed the hunger for the power of change to drip through the visceral layers? Does the shaking wind crack the shell of the butterfly's eyes to see which way the butterfly will soar when it is older and wiser? Is it okay for the butterfly to be angry about the process? Is it okay for the rage to unchain the skin into wings? And what's the justice of the fight for flight once it has it? I have kids. I've seen. When a child grabs the butterfly by the wing to watch its scrambled offerings of limbs to release into flight, is that its way of cussing? Or because it is beautiful, it's just supposed to bow down and take it? Is the rage that sparks into red on the wing, bristles into hair along the abdomen? Does the butterfly ever get tired of beating its wings so hard it creates a hurricane on the other side of the world? Do they feel the power in their wing beat leave and turn to ask who touched to drain their cloaked beauty? This is the power, the beauty, the rage, the fight. Think this too might just be a metaphor. So when you see a butterfly, think of the unending days and fight against its own skin it has been through to get to this place, fluttering like hell to reach the next flower. And our lives from the outside may look just like this too, utterly beautiful.
Okay, so I'm glad like the universe will unfold the way it's supposed to. Everybody unmute yourselves and give it up for Elaine Hill.
Elaine, go poet.
Elaine, woo!
Yeah,
Thank you,
beautiful.
gifted.
That toddler poem was just epic.
And the butterfly one too. It's like, oh, it was just, welcome
Welcome,
home. That's all I gotta
welcome.
say. Yeah, we hope to see you around. We do Monday shows, Friday shows, soon to come more shows. We want to hear more of you, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of
Absolutely.
the show on your drive. We've got quite the list
Absolutely.
still ahead.
Great
Thank you
work,
so
Elaine.
much.
Good
Thank
to
you
hear
so
you.
much. Thank you so much. And hey, can I find y'all Open Minds Open Mic? Is that how I find you? Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram it's at Open Minds Open Mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm at Elaine.sweetnightingale if you guys want to find me. Yeah, it's a gift. Elaine.sweetnightingale, like the bird. So
All right.
thanks. Appreciate
Buckle
y'all.
up and drive
Thanks for the
safe.
thank you. Thank you for the welcome and the love. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being a part of the Guerrilla Poets too.
It's
You know
my
that
pleasure.
like
It's amazing.
I
Yeah,
know
for sure.
a lot of the members from there, and you guys are just doing amazing things, right? And just really trying to change the world, make the world a more cooler place, and hopefully
We're sneaking through here tonight. We got Jim Love, we've got Elaine, we've got Whisper Poets here, we got all kinds of guerrilla poets
yeah, we have
sneaking
modders
around in
coming
the
there,
background here
everybody.
tonight.
I'm loving it. It's like a bunch of gorillas in the mist. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I mean, that's what gorillas do, right?
Yeah. You don't even know it,
Creeping.
man. Next thing you know, you surrounded by a bunch of gorillas going, oh shit, we about to get our minds blown. But
Thanks, guys.
seriously though, like thank you from all of humanity for what you guys do. We really appreciate it. Wow, what an amazing night. And we still got so many more amazing people coming up. On deck we have Teresa Gallion, who I miss and love. But coming up is it someone else who I haven't seen. I'm loving tonight was like cool, man. We got all these people I ain't seen in a while coming through. And so we hope, we bless you with the new year and hope that we see more of you. But yeah, coming up to the mic next, we got Mark States. Mark, how have you been enjoying the show tonight? I see you were right there with me, just having the best time of your life. How you been doing?
Absolutely, absolutely enjoying it. Um, I attend far fewer poetry events in January. I'm a bookkeeper, so January we're crazy. But once I heard Nemo was going to be here tonight, I felt I had to be here. And I'm so glad I didn't just say, I had a long day, I'm tired, I'm going to eat myself to sleep. It has been so wonderful. And I also knew that I had to bring some fire of my own. And the added benefit is Rich Boucher is here, and this is one of his favorite poems of mine.
Mark, I put in the chat that I requested that you read for an hour. So, do just act ethically here. All right, be nice, but read for an hour.
Like
Oh, I
I'm
wish
not
I
gonna
had
I'm
the
not gonna mute you,
hour-long
but
poem.
no, but we will
I
talk because
wish.
I would like to feature you too coming up in I think we have slots in April and May, so you can
April
get
and
your hour in
May?
there. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, we're
that would
booked
be
up about.
splendid. Yeah,
Uh,
we'll talk
we'll
later.
talk later then about that. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, get into character. Whoop, whoop. John's basement is in all of us. Certainly over the decades, this basement has seen more than its fair share of rough-hewn faces. The down and outs, the down and inconsolable, Depression-era migrants needing a place to rest their heads while searching for the next odd job and next meal. War veterans who've witnessed too many mangled bodies of friends and washing their minds with alcohol only serves to mangle their own lives even further. Every single one, clinging to the taint of the American dream, fretting which fetid rabbit hole they were facing, and never getting a piece of the American pie. This basement eventually might see a leaning tower of pizza boxes, and lounging sunglass-wearing cockroaches, content after feast of leftover crusts, while Sonny is on his latest 24-hour bender, bent over keyboard and joystick, master of Grand Theft Auto, pawn of Grandma McNarcissist. But no, this film is black and white, and John toots a party favor in front of his basement door. One might find this setting appropriate for a Rod Serling intro to a Twilight Zone episode. A portal to a bizarre new world, a twist of fate or circumstance, a commentary on the perversity of postmodern capitalism. What in the world is in John's basement? And why is John on such a mind-altering drugs display of excitement, eager to show it off? One of John's personal demons is off camera on a smoke break should be enough of a clue. A red flag if his world were not black and white. That what you are stepping into is not an episode of television, but of paranoid hallucinatory schizophrenia. I've watched too many episodes of Criminal Minds, the torture rooms, trails of dismembered bodies, the mazes of broken glass and dead-end hopes, too many rooms where you check in for one night and then check out permanently. I've watched too many poets on my computer, and they all speak to me. They're looking right at me. And no one is behind me. It has to be me. Rich Boucher and his new power drill are still fresh in my mind. It's not so much the cranium shavings he is gently caressing off my face, nor the blood spatter he's wiping off his. What really hurts is that I thought we were friends. Perhaps we still are, and I just do not realize it. Too triggered by my own experience to understand how much he cares about what is happening to me. I've howled with glee watching Hitman stand over booby-trapped bathtub, telling that Boris Bad Enough guy, yell all you like. The Lord himself won't hear you. I've watched the blitzkrieg minds of our generation crumble into gritty dust, like broken shells on a beach under the weight of internet conspiracy videos and podcasts peddling fears that political parties are running child porn rings from the basements and back rooms of New Jersey pizza parlors and creating viral microchips in the basements of clandestine medical research centers and plotting to take away your guns and the right to say stupid shit in super secret meetings held in their luxurious Illuminati penthouses, which the elite won't tell you are really basements if you turn the building upside down, because they want to keep you in the dark about the roof. The real roof that will set you free. And the only way to save yourself is to click on that subscribe button. And don't forget to buy their merch, and by golly, a lot of these podcasts are created in people's basements. So yeah, a lot of skanky stuff goes on in basements. Do I really need to know what is in John's basement? I'm not dying to know, nor am I dying because I found out. Nah, I'm good. You can take a whack at it yourself if you want. There is nothing to lose except everything.
Wow, Mark. Everybody do me a favor. Unmute yourselves and give it up for Mark States.
See what I mean?
Wow, Mark.
Now, Mark, that I know you freestyled there some, or you wrote some parts in there, because I is that poem in the What's in John's Basement anthology?
Yes, and I think the only
I
thing I
reviewed
added
that.
was one word. I think I only
Really?
added one word. The rest of it is verbatim.
Wow, I thought you kind of went into like a freestyle in there almost towards the end there, and then went back to the poem. I remember reviewing the book for Dane. He sent out a few rough drafts to
Mm-hmm.
me, and it was just amazing what you guys all did. So to hear that
Yes.
performed by you, it was like so much better than I could have ever, read it off the pages. And so I
Yes.
appreciate you for that.
Yeah, I
I
remember reading
appreciate you
that.
too.
Yeah, I remember reading that the book too. And it's a kind of poem people used to call an interior landscape,
Yeah.
where you're kind of wandering through all these different thoughts and feelings, and putting them
Mhm.
together in this seamless experience is wonderfully done.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
thank you.
I'll add, Mark, that I remain honored from the conversation you and I had when you first mentioned you were gonna pluck me out of reality and put me bodily into a poem of yours, which I'm hugely honored by. And the only other thing I'll say is that when I was 11, I found an issue of Penthouse in the basement of the apartment that my family was living in, and I was illuminatied by that
Flipped it
issue
up,
of
yeah, flipped
Penthouse.
up from the penthouse to the basement, bro. Oh man.
And I kept that penthouse until my mother discovered it in my bedroom and embarrassed the living Christ out of me at the school I was going to.
Oh my goodness, you ought to write a poem about that, my friend.
I have a poem that's been stewing for decades about it because my sisters love my description of my mother ambushing me with the magazine from where I hid it in my bedroom.
Maybe I have heard it and I just don't remember it.
Yeah, I got it.
Too triggered by my own experience here to realize that.
I think I'm gonna have to send you the draft of it. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. And I'd be pleased.
Excellent. Did you have a second piece for us you wanted to share as well?
Oh, Rich will tell you I'm a one
A one
poem
and
and
done.
and zip my lips kind of guy.
Well, sit back and
When the
enjoy the
first
show
when
with
the
me then.
first when the first poem hits, anything I do after that is a downer. I've had the moment, I've had the poetry high, and now I just need to chill.
That's why usually when I do two poems, so I'll save that hitter for last, right? Just so like people will remember that one, right?
Yes.
But if you just do one really good one, then that's all they'll remember. I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Yes.
uh, we have a wonderful list of poets still to follow. Plenty more poems coming up. On deck we have Jim Love. Stepping up to the stage next, we have Teresa Gallion. And Miss Teresa, I miss you. You look so pretty with your hat. Is that crocheted?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I
But
love it.
I didn't do it though.
But somebody who loves you did it.
No, I actually bought it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna get you a love made one. Yeah, if you could share some poetry with us and tell me where you've been. I missed it. I don't know. What, you
Oh, it's been a
I
minute. I know that, and I was telling Whisperer last week I need to get back to the Zooms because I took a break for a while, and I've been traveling a lot too. But what I was going to say is I wanted to greet you and Catalyst with big hugs because I need to get to British Columbia. I was in Alberta two
have a.
weeks in June, and
Oh, you missed us. We were there for 4 years. You
yeah,
finally get to Alberta. We're over here in BC.
while I was in Africa, there were four Canadians traveling in the group I was traveling with, and I bonded with two, and they're from the province of, and I'm not going to pronounce it right, so you correct it, Saskatchewan.
That's about right.
Okay, that's the province.
Saskatchewan. Yeah.
Yeah. They
It's so
so they've
flat there that
invited
they
me.
have a joke that they say you can watch your dog run away for 3 days straight.
Yes, and they've invited me to come to Saskatchewan. I told them I got to go to British Columbia first, but
See, so I got to make a couple more trips to Canada. I fell in love with Canada.
It's so beautiful up here.
It
And
is.
we're
It
in a
is.
very beautiful valley. Like I would love to come give you a hug in person if you come visit us up here.
Okay. Um, the poem I'm going to read is called Abu Simbel Intrusion. And Abu Simbel is the major temple of Ramesses II in Egypt. Night frost brings the soothing balm of light and sound rippling past camp. Sleepy eyes fold dreams, come and escort you to the garden that is your secret. Here you may sit in peace, absorb the wisdom of violence, paintbrush, and daisies. You may bow in reverence to a mushroom's artistic expression. Now feel the music of a wild blade of grass sink close to your legs. You were born to taste beauty and hold space for the broken. Come hither and sleep with me. But I cannot sleep with you, dear nature, for the pool of the river Nile is teasing me, and the temple of Abu Simbel calls my name. After 3,000 years, his ego still echoes in the desert wind. 100 wives have stood at his foot and cursed his name against the breast. How many times have you come back here, Ramesses II, in the last 3,000 years and longed to assert your authority on the sacred feminine? You dominate the ancient landscape rising from the sand at Luxor. Your ego explodes at the Luxor temple. The sheer size of your monuments raise the question about your worship of deities. Were you really paying tribute to Amun-Ra? I cannot sleep with nature tonight. Your hold is too tight. Let go. Let go, Ramesses. Let go. And the second piece I'll read is called Release from the Will. My kisses ride in a boat downstream to no ending. A ripple rolls over your chest. When I look at you, your smile is like barbed wire waiting to shackle me. I want to run, but my legs refuse me. I love too intensely, always caught in a slow burn. I must learn the art of detachment to rise from shackles of grief and pain. I do not want to engage any more mourners knocking at my door to rub pain on my heart. I grow tired of working the saw and cuddle blistered hands that scream for release from the will of karma. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for coming back. I missed you. That was wonderful. Everybody unmute yourselves right now and give it up for the beautiful Miss Teresa Gallion.
Yeah.
Teresa,
Teresa!
thank you for being. It was so great to hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. So good to hear you tonight, Nemo. I had to get here tonight. So you got me back in.
It
Well,
was
everybody unmute too and give it up
Awesome.
for Nemo for bringing Teresa back tonight.
All right,
it was
Nemo.
really, really good to hear you. Unsurprisingly, excellent work as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so
I'm glad
excited to
your
sit and have a
travels
picnic
ended
by the
you up
river.
here tonight.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm so excited to have you come up here and have a picnic near the river, and we can look up at the mountains surrounding here.
Yeah, I definitely want to get to British Columbia. I'm serious. I
Yeah,
think it might be
I
okay
am
for me.
too.
I think it might be okay for me to cross the border
Hey,
again.
if not, I got some people for that. We'll get you across.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, thank you again so much. Everybody, one
Thank
more
you so much.
time, give it up for Teresa Gallion.
Teresa.
Thank you.
Man, it has been such an amazing night here. Everybody showing up for Nemo. We love you. All these gorilla poets. We've got a gorilla poet on deck. In fact, a part of the Open Minds family, Whisper Poet. You guys need to check out the Heart of the Artist show that we've done with her. It's just amazing stuff. And I've heard whispers that it might be coming back this year. But yeah, we're really excited. We got Jim Love though coming up on stage. Jim, have you been to an open mic? So I think I've met you before, but I don't know if it was at one of our events.
No, I don't think I've been here, but I run across you back when I was more active online. Not very active online anymore, but I keep getting out. Nemo keeps pulling me back in. So
Well, good. Nemo's pulling in everybody, man. Hey, Finding Nemo, the fish player. Instead of that, we're fishing for. He's doing the opposite, right?
well,
He's the one doing the fish to pull everybody back in. But you guys know what to do. This is Jim Love's first time here at Open Mind Saying. So I would like everybody to unmute themselves right now and give a big open mind, open heart, open arms welcome to Jim Love.
Jim. Yeah.
Jim. Welcome.
Jim is a
Welcome on
gorilla
in.
poet. Jim is we see sneaking around.
The gorillas in the mist out there, man.
hiding in the bushes. This is a piece that is a work in progress that I wrote for my own birthday. So it's called Smith Corona Sterling. Beneath the too bright fluorescent glare I sit, an old manual typewriter, my keys familiar but worn, an artifact of the past, an archaic tap, tap, tap against the crush of time. Once I was the heartbeat of creation. The pulse of ideas flowed freely, ink ribbons coiling like vines, each page a testament to thought, a tangible artifact capturing moments before they faded off into the void. Now I watch silently as fingers slide over cold glass, the swift swipe of youth chasing visions in a digital haze, words vanishing into the cloud, while I remain anchored by the weight of my mechanics, a relic in this world of speed. The laser jet sings songs I can no longer hear, stanzas spat out in sterile precision, while I linger, my type bars frozen in time. Each keystroke a deliberate choice, a commitment to permanence in an AI landscape of flying tweets and pixelated dreams. I miss the crisp clack of metal on pristine paper, the satisfaction of a full page, the ink scent rising like home-baked bread, but the world races on and I'm a fading signal. I'm a rotary phone in a fiber optic age, yet in my heart there's a rhythm, a cadence of reflection, the beauty of a slower pace, where words take root and breathe, growing into something real, something beautiful you can hold, where imperfections add character and every smudge tells a story. So here I am, pressed against the sterile glass of progress, an old man, an old manual typewriter in a too fast moving world, still tapping out truth, one deliberate letter at a time, desperate to remember that there's wisdom and patience, and that poetry is in the pause.
Yo, Jim, welcome home. Gorilla Poets in the Mist back with. So you got a second one for us?
Yeah, I can. Got another one I can do here. This one's called Astrology, and I blame Nemo for this one. Albert King sang, "I was born under a bad sign." That's true for me too. Yet over me the cosmos holds no sway. I'm not a scuttling sea creature in search of a new home, or a horned beast roaming across the land. I do not shake my majestic mane, letting loose a mighty roar. No, the stars shed no light on what I am. My sign belongs not to the night sky, but is inked upon my soul. A simpler sign, more mathematical, more logical, more empirical. Yet, am I the punchline? My core self walks into the bar. Bartender says, "Hey man, what's your sign?" My sign? Less than, less than, lacking, not enough, less than. My life defined by lines pointed in the wrong direction, moved into place by the sounds that vibrated the membranes of my childhood. The rhythm of broken promises, the static of failed expectations, the crashes of violence. I believed no lever of Archimedean scale, no fulcrum properly placed, no legendary labor could rotate my sign. I was wrong. Community the rod, acceptance the stone, hope the force. On those good days, the symbol is freed. On those good days, I hear the truth as the lies fall away. On those good days, my sign realigns. On those good days, I am equal.
On those good days, we get blessed by poetry like that. Everybody, unmute yourselves and give it up for Jim Love.
Jim! Hell yeah.
I'm gonna have to get you in there on a feature too. You said you wanted an hour mark, but like we're gonna have to get you in on an hour sometime.
Yeah, that was solid work, Jim. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so we have quite a few more artists left. We're having a good time tonight. I noticed it's our host for Monday nights, John Michael, popped back in. He was tentative on the list. I don't know, John, are you driving still? Because if you know your kind of space has been floating, you disappeared. If you're available to read, that's cool. If not, we'll just keep you floating on the list. Oh, he's home
No,
now.
I just walked in the door. I was happy to catch some of Nemo's set before I ran out of cell service somewhere out there in the middle of the road. But great job tonight, Nemo. Um, I was happy to check in
Thank
for
you,
a little
John
bit.
Michael.
But no, I'm just gonna sit back and listen and try to relax a little bit. I've been driving for the last 7 hours.
Oh, well, that's the perfect time to read poetry. Delusional state, 7 hours of road, like just just freestyle for us. No, I'm joking. I'll keep you tentative on the list once your mind kind of comes back to you and you're ready to read. We'll go ahead and we'll hear from you. But yeah, you're still on the list, tentative. We didn't forget about you, John. And we didn't forget about Chaos Magics every Monday. Same room right here, but 8 p.m. Monday nights, hosted by John Michael and my wife Catalyst. But yeah, we'll keep this show rolling. On deck, we have Escape Artist, who is currently stepped away too for a moment. So tentatively, we have either Escape Artist or Blxck, depending on who's still in the room by the time it turns up, which I think Blxck actually almost there. So I'm working with a tentative list here. But basically, coming up next, we've got Whisper Poet, who I've been working on with a tentative lift my whole life.
The
For Whisper.
unattended.
Yeah, yeah, the unintentional, the unintentional, unintended. Um, Whisper, I love you. I'm dying out here. Can you share some poetry? Where did she go? Did she just dip out too? Oh, oh, we lost her too now.
How do you know?
She was just in the room and there, cause she's a host, so I can't hear when she comes in and out. Or no, there she
I
is.
see. Yeah,
She's
Whisper's.
Whisper's here. Yeah, Whisper is here. Okay, I lost her on the screen for a moment. Whisper.
You have to whisper if you want her to come.
If you can bless us with some words, we would greatly
Appreciate it.
All right, Whisper Post seems to be whispered out. Escape artist is ducked out for now, escaped out. So the whispers are fading. The escape artist side out here. So you know what we need right now? And in fact, actually, Black Salt, uh, you want to do that collab? Because there's like half the people in here haven't heard that. Because you're up deck now, like the whispers are fading out. The escape artists have dipped out. Like we need some black salt, yo. We need to talk about the deeps, the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean. What do you
Yes,
think?
yes.
Yeah?
Deepest, the deepest parts of the ocean. Let me
Yeah, let me
look
pull it up here too.
for that. I
Yeah.
got it in
And in the
here in
meantime,
my
so John Michael and I have started this epic collab, and we've brought in Black Salt in on it. We also had Jackson Riley do some parts. So yeah, that's gonna be coming up. I'm gonna be inviting most of you guys into it. Everyone I see in this room, like you guys at some point need to come collab with us. It's an amazing thing. You got that pulled up yet?
yes, the darkest parts of the ocean.
Written and performed by Black Salt, W.L.F, and Thomas Open Mind. Some pressure is so dense it rips the oxygen from your blood. The deepest parts I've ever been in this ocean that's now above.
The gods hid water in the sky. When it rains, we cry. Futile attempts and vain desires to sink the ship, sink the ship of our tragedy.
I imagine the drowning in salt water and fear, the latter taking over my mind here in time as I face my bitter fate. Awaken to the darkness laced with nightmares and winter's grace, 'cause I fight for the tears to dry this lake.
Take me away, back to sandy shores, back through brothel doors. I don't want to remember anymore. I'll throw myself to the mermaid's song. I'll feed myself to the sharks. I'll spin down the whirlpool. I'll pull myself apart.
I'll forever be lost in the darkest parts of this ocean, flowing, glowing, growing, just going with all the light from my heart. It's difficult at times, but I'm reminded to keep my mind right in and writing. I mean, right in this nightmare creeping when all is running from sleeping a head of mine. I'm ahead of time. Time to be rid of mind. These riddles find me deep in brine.
Salt over my shoulder and salty sailors. What's the difference between an expert and an amateur when years of sailing has brought me nothing but pain? And after years of pain, nothing has changed.
Am I deranged or
Is something not right?
do I speak with a twisted tongue tonight?
Do you hear anything you like?
Can you taste this rum and strife?
See through my eyes. and you'll see a terrifying sight.
Yet I mean, we can bring all of our dreams of prolific prosperity to reality. In spite of the formalities, we still stop and shine and drag ourselves along. I'll be dragging myself out of the darkest parts of the ocean song. Peace. Thank you. Yeah, so if you got a second piece first, man, we appreciate it, bro.
Yes, yes. Who's up next? Okay, is it on me?
Yeah, it's still on you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Um, I want to I want to use the
Share screen.
share
Gotcha.
screen
One step
feature
ahead of you.
for a song that I want to share with you guys. But let's see here. Before
Hold on.
that,
I might have muted you just now by accident while I was trying to click the co-host button. My computer's been lagging.
I was gonna say before the song, I want to share a quick short poem if that's okay. Okay. So let me look up this song so everything just flows smoothly in one direction. Give me a second. Okay. So the first piece I'm going to share with you is called Gambler's Joker. Gambler's Joker. And the second piece is something I whipped up on this app, BandLab. And so I'm gonna share that with you. It's some my blend of poetry and music, and so I'll share that with you. And so that song is called Jump Off a Cliff, The Rotten Truth. And so, yeah, before that, though, we'll start out with the poem, Gambler's Joker. Here we go. Hope you like it. You hear me okay? Not too loud, not too quiet? Okay, perfect. Okay, here we go. Just crazy enough to work, quarter in my pocket next to an ace and a joker. I'm not playing with the full deck. That's why they call me a loser. But just two cards is all you need for an audience with the queen. Perfection is an illusion. Prayers written on paper in my purse that I rehearsed for her majesty. I am the burden of kings passed down to peasants, the unholy duality of hell and heaven. 777 meets 666, gambler's love story after hitting the slots in a fifth. Roll the dice for a chance and a check. But before we play spades, take the jokers out the deck. And that is Gambler's Joker. That is a favorite of mine. I'll give you a little poetry secret. You can print your poems out on paper and just carry them with you, or like you can like pay somebody to like get your poems engraved on something, like, and just like carry
That's
it with you
dope.
so it's not
What?
so
A little
fragile.
engraved poem on your yo, that's dope.
Yeah,
I like
you
that.
can do that, dude. You can do that.
Yeah.
Poetry secret.
Actually, just I
Like,
got a business card from a laser guy that I was working with, the graphics guy
like
in
business. You
town,
carry
and he
business
does
cards, right?
laser work.
Why not
Yeah.
carry your poem?
Just
You
hand
know what I
out
mean?
engraved poems. Pro tip for poets: start handing out laser engraved poetry.
There you go. There you go. Little secret. Little secret. Yeah, this is a poem that I got in my hat. So I keep it there. Just like, bullets in the chamber. Poet, lyrics in the chamber. Lyrics in the chamber. Yeah. But anyway, I'll share with you this song. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the share screen feature for this. Let's see here. Share sound. Share. Let me get my headphones on so I can actually hear this with you. Make sure my stuff's hooked up. So this is a piece I whipped up on BandLab. It's a free app. It's awesome if you've never heard of it. Check it out. It's really cool. Once you get the hang of it, it's really simple to use. And so, this is a piece I whipped up. Jump Off a Cliff, The Rotten Truth. It's a dark ambient guitar. And yeah, if you like the artwork, it's just some stuff I whipped up with AI, so but I'll go ahead and share this piece with you guys. Hope you like it. Let me know if you can hear it okay. Wait, that's the wrong one. I wanted to share with you the that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Let's see here. I want to share with you the second one. That one, yeah, that one doesn't have the lyrics. I want to share with you the poem. Yeah, the poem. There's 2 tracks on here. It's an album. There's 2 tracks. One's like the second one's the actual poem. The first one's like the same song, the instrumental, except with like a little bit of bass and roars and thunders, so, but I want to share with you the poem. So here we go. I wonder if I can move this. Yeah.
Life's a game, and just like a deck of cards, there's 4 people in this world. Hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. You want to talk about love? Hearts go with diamonds because they're on the same frequency, and clubs go with spades. You want to talk about forbidden romance? Like a rose out the concrete, I'm a club in love with a diamond. Now, I can't tell you her name, or where she's from, or how big her butt is. These things don't matter to love anyway. What matters are my feelings, and I gotta follow my heart, wherever it takes me, even if that's off a cliff. Cause what's the point of living anyway, if we can't tell the truth? Wherever it takes us, even if that's off a cliff.
Yo, I'm so glad you joined Man Lab and started making music, man. Everybody, do me a favor, unmute yourselves and give it up for Blxck W.L.F.
Yeah, Blxck. Oh, oh, oh.
Sxlt. It just the music is so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
The way you mix it too with your voice.
Yeah. You know,
Wow.
it's you know, you just need like like if you're like yeah.
Well,
Thank
I've
you.
been
Like
trying to find a musician to go with my poetry, but you can do it both, right? And there's musicians that would love to have a lyricist like that, right? But you're able to pull off both of it. You can be the musician and the poet all in one. And I just love what you're doing, man. Me and you've been working with on some stuff and doing I've been trying to get things going with us a little more musically. I got you on Band Lab now and she's like, and I'm just loving what you're creating. And yeah, keep it up, man.
That's the
yeah.
hardest thing to do. I've heard for years and years and years, poets wanting to work with musicians and musicians wanting to work with poets. And the hardest thing to do is, of it all, and from my experience of listening to it, is just where to situate the poet's voice, the mix and getting the right levels too. And, I've seen
But when
people
you're doing it
like,
yourself, when you're the musician and the poet, Paul, you're able to do that because now he's both sides of it. Like his
Oh yeah.
ideal
Let me tell you
music
something
behind
about
it goes,
levels.
yeah.
Let me
He's
tell you
like, yeah,
something
he got
about
levels to
levels.
this.
Hey, levels is about one thing. Pain. I will spend more time effing with those levels than I do actually creating the damn song. Like, let me tell you something about those
Yeah, it only
levels.
takes 5 minutes to play the,
that's what I'm
guitar riff and
talking
5 minutes
about.
to read, but then you spend the next 3 weeks trying to weave it all together to make it
Yeah,
sound how you want,
yeah,
tweaking
that's
them
what I'm
levels.
talking about. That's
You
the
never get
hardest
it
thing to
perfect
do.
either. You never
Oh,
get
you
it
never
perfect
will. No,
either.
it's just good
Don't even
enough. You
try.
always get it just good enough. It's like, all right, just
Yeah.
Well,
good
the
enough.
other hard part is you're going to be listening into it on headphones, you're going to be listening to it on open speakers, and then you got to make
Yeah, you
choices
can never,
between that
Exactly. It
yeah.
too.
sounds different every time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we really appreciate what you're doing with music, and we hope you keep doing it. Keep bringing us that music, cause we love it, and I want you to kind of help us with some of these collabs that you and I work on. I want to get on a song with you. You know what I
Hey,
mean? Like we need to do, yeah, we got to get some music. We'll get Mavi in here on it with us too, or something. You know what I mean? Like we'll get some music kicking, man. I appreciate what you're doing.
yeah.
Um,
I'll plug the link in the chat for the track. You know, you check out the other song. If it
oh,
suits your
bet, bet.
fancy.
Yeah, bet. All right, man. We appreciate you. And we really appreciate these other posts we still have up on deck. There was Whisper Poe who ducked away, and I don't know, you're still tentative, Whisper, if you can hear us. It's your turn. If not, we'll keep moving on. All right. So yeah. So on deck we'll have Nadia, who's gonna be featuring for us coming up here soon. I'm really excited for that. So. But stepping up to the stage next, we have none other than Principe Guity Jr. Principe, I love you, brother. If you could bless us with some words, I would greatly appreciate it.
Oh, hello. This first poem is called Answer the Call. As kids, we try to live up to other standards. Just give up, meet your own standards. Either write every day or be a good person. Besides, humans are filled with movie camera standards for others. Don't let it zoom on you. Instead, be in ginger, the camera in another direction. Take take creative control so your spirit can be lifted by positive spells of your standards. God dialed your birthday like a phone number to answer the call of your standard. And I read one more.
I would love for you to read one more. I miss you, bro. You can read two more if you want.
This next one is a limerick. Inaugurations are introductions to the concoction of newness in office. So people can be cautious and take it with caution. And I'll read one more. This one is untitled right now at the moment. A body of water is an endless reservoir. You're drinking my body just like you. At the tip of my heart's mouth, I gulp every drop of you. Every time I satisfy my thirst, your physical affection fills the mug in my chest, giving the rest to you in return as a gratitude. Gratitude for the love shown to me, for me to show you what a gift you are. Hugs, kisses, comforting when you need it. My heart, I bleeded the emotions for you. Our love is a boat floating on us. It's all I got so far right now.
I'm loving it. You definitely got to continue writing that one. Everybody, do me a favor.
Woo!
Give it up for
Yeah.
Principe Guity Jr.
Principe.
Yeah, every time I try to find a
Wow.
thirst for my physical pleasure, what a
Right.
line, you know?
Yeah.
It was great stuff, man. Great stuff. What an amazing night. See, Nemo, look what you did. Look at this night you created, Nemo. You made an amazing night. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I'm just blown away by everybody coming out tonight. It's been incredible. And we've still got so many people to read. So
yeah, we got
yeah.
four more people on deck here, and then some tentative people. If they show up, they can read. If not, I have a new job and I'm tired. It's been a rough week or so getting everything set up at this new thing. But yeah, we still have four more performers though that I'm really excited to hear. Um, we have Terri Rose on deck, but coming up next, we have Nadia. And Nadia, I remember you showing up months ago, and you used to come to the Kaya shows and just read, I mean, and just write, and just listen and write, and you would come up, listen and write, listen and write. And then like a month or half month or two later, you're like, all right, I'm ready to read. And then you just open this floodgate of poetry that I could say only comes from Mother Gaia itself, and you are the embodiment of that in your poetry. And it's been just such an amazing ride to watch you go from like, oh, I'm just gonna sit back and watch to like, I'm gonna be featuring on February 21st. So yeah, about a month from now, you guys. Yeah, if you could unmute yourself and bless us with some words, Nadia, I would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Um, I was inspired by Nemo's feature, so I wrote something a little darker than I usually do, but it's me being vulnerable about a near-death experience I had a few years ago. It's called Survivor's Grace. Some life lessons arrive cloaked in darkness, a maze with no map, no stars to guide, only the heavy press of blackness, a silence that hums with the unknown. I searched for any glimmer, a flicker of hope, while standing at the threshold, one foot in life, the other in the infinite. I was near death's door, an infection raging like wildfire, my body clinging to the threads of existence, prayers trembling, tumbling from my lips, like desperate whispers to the stars. It was the darkest night of my soul, a night where time unraveled, where pleading became my only language, and hope felt like a distant echo. The ego fought like a cornered beast, clinging to distortions, attachments tightening like nooses, dragging me further into shadows. Refusing the grace that hovered just out of reach, I stood at the edge, the precipice of eternity. In the vast stillness, I felt how small I was, how fragile, how fleeting life can be. It is never promised. Inside this dark cave of the unknown, I surrendered to life, letting go of illusions of control, releasing the grip of certainty, feeling like a grain of sand on the shore of existence. The mind fought the body, chaos writhing like a tempest, eternity pulsing through my veins until I was falling into a tunnel painted with light, each brushstroke alive with both fear and grace. I stared into the abyss of my mind, a window into an infinite sky where stars sang songs of the eternal, and in the shadows, I gasped for air, desperate to find my way back. The shadows peeled away, revealing illusions I once held as truths. Control, the greatest illusion of all, shattered before my eyes, forcing me to face the truth. I was knocking on death's door, so close that the echoes of my breath might have gone unheard. But in that closeness, a mirror shattered, pieces scattering, revealing a clearer reflection, one I had never dared to see before. I became a puzzle piece, fitting into the vast cosmic whole, the soul unanchored, soaring through infinity, dancing between the threads of time and space. I fell into the tunnel again, a bridge of golden light stretching ahead, floating between the tides of two oceans, one of life, one of the unknown, surrendering to the divine embrace. To survive when so close to death, it was terrifying, a relief and a reckoning. The darkness held me, yet in its grip, a single candle burned, its glow defiant against the endless void. The veil thinned, revealing glimpses of another realm where eternity touched the edges of my soul. I brushed against the hem of infinity, and in that touch, I became a phoenix. Ascending from the ashes of mortality, my embers reignited, blazing brighter than before. I returned, not untouched, but transformed, carrying the light of that edge of eternity itself. I don't look like what I've survived. The scars run deep, but they're mine to hide. Life's tides have tried to pull me under, yet here I stand, above the waves, still breathing, still whole. I am here, even if the healing is slow, even if the weight lingers, I am here, grateful for the cracks that let the light in, for the blessings scattered amidst the chaos, for the strength I never knew I had. A quiet force beneath the surface, living, not perfectly, but fully, healing, not finished, but with gratitude. Even while still healing, mentally, physically, spiritually, with COVID-induced labels, I am still grateful to still breathe. Poem.
Yo, see, that's what I love about you, Nadia. It's like, okay, well, Nemo's featured, so I wrote a bit of a darker piece. Or at the end of the night, Nadia's just like, oh, you guys inspired me. I wrote this piece. Like, you are just a font of creativity. I'm so excited for your feature. Everybody, do me a favor. Unmute yourselves and give it up for Nadia.
Nadia,
Awesome.
so incredible. Your pen is mighty.
Thank you.
Thank you all for holding space. That is an experience I don't share with most, really, less than 5 people. And it was difficult to write about, but it was also freeing. So it was really nice to hear you, Nemo, to talk about the things that are difficult to talk about, things that people have stigmatized as if it's not normal, as if we don't all survive through different trials and tribulations. So thank you for the inspiration. And with that, I do have a lighter piece that I will end with for this round. It's more of a reflection of how I feel with the current tumultuous times of the world, but it's not as dark as the other one. It's called Beacon for Humanity. Sending out a beacon, a signal, a flare, a call to all beings who dare to care, to confront oppression head on, to dismantle corruption, to shine light on disgrace where shadows suffocate and cling. Oligarchy and misogyny, roots tangled in centuries of pain. The blood of cultures slain stains the soil, while neo-colonial systems stretch their reach. Global chains of modern bondage, some frozen in fear, others feeling beyond the breach of hope, where violence wears many masks. The cloaked oppression of indigenous nations forced to fight for sacred lands, for water, for life, while whispers of treaties are broken like glass. Black lives still navigating the storm, centuries of chains rebranded, the prison system a modern plantation. Systemic roots grow deep, yet their resilience is a song that refuses silence. Immigrant families, torn and displaced. Walls and cages redefining borders as if love and belonging had limits. Dreams deferred but not forgotten. Their hope stretches across oceans. Bridges built in hearts despite barriers of steel. The LGBTQ plus community standing as rainbows in the rain, enduring storms of hate and erasure, yet shining fiercely, refusing to dim their light. Violence hides in subtle ways that are loud, in skin, in gender, in love denied, in norms that suffocate rather than embrace. Resistance to growth, to acceptance, dishonors the cries for change, denies the sacred truth of free will. Structures are built to favor the greedy, skyscrapers casting shadows over the needy, oppression crafted into modern chains, turning beings into slaves of the system that accelerates despair, that expedites graves. To survive in this landscape of modern colonization demands strength forged in fire. It is in the resilience of single mothers pushing against systemic tides, of disabled bodies navigating a world built to exclude them. It is found in every voice that refuses to be silenced, every heart still beating against the current. Strength lies in knowledge, in raising awareness, in linking hands across divides, planting seeds of unity in the soil of pain, soil watered by tears and resilience, learning to love across every margin, across every label used to divide. We are more than the chains that bind us. We are the cracks where the light gets in. We are the bridge between despair and hope, the keepers of a flame that will not go out. For every being, every story, every soul across this earth, this beacon calls to you. Stand, resist, shine. poem.
Yo, everybody unmute yourselves and give it up for Nadia.
Wow, Nadia. Incredible pieces.
Yeah, you have this very, very lush lyricism in your poems, and I'm the past few times I've heard you, I'm keying in more to how you speak these phrases. You know, the way you construct your poems. It's almost uh, like I can get a sense of how they sit on a page just by how you interpret them with your voice. But Nadia, you do some of the most absolutely soulful work I've been hearing lately.
What I tell you, Paul, is like Mother Gaia incarnate.
Yeah, I think it's really, I admire, you know, your acknowledgement and, you know, praise of Nemo for his ability and his, I'm just gonna say his backbone, his ability to
Yeah, his
stand up
backbone.
and do Nemo, you know, and it's that whole thing about people who, in a sense, suffer not so much by what they're going through, but by being looked at as being something wrong that needs to be fixed. And it's this whole thing about looking at us and wanting to make us a separate class. And that is what is more punishing and deadly than anything else about the whole situation.
Yeah. They try to isolate us and make us seem different for
Well
our
said.
uniqueness.
Well said.
Um, yeah, Nadia, I really admire the way that you can just straight unfiltered, just say what you need to, and being inspired by Nemo, who just unfiltered, just get these emotions out in a way that's so, I want to say tasty, visceral, whatever, but like tasty, like it's so delicious hearing your souls, speak through the poetry and everything that you guys are inspired by. The two of you, I'm including both of you on this because we were mentioning Nemo too. And yeah, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. What an amazing night. We still have a couple of poets left here. I'm exhausted, but I'm still here with y'all. And yeah, we're gonna get this
Go
rest of this night.
Thomas. Go Thomas.
Yeah.
We believe in you.
Oh, yeah. Next week will be better. I'll get a little bit of rest by next week, but man, it's
Thomas,
been one
there's
heck of a
work.
ride coming up.
Thomas, there's work and then there's work.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a lot of work, and recently I just got some work, and so I'm trying to balance that, right? So I could feed myself, right, and get a warm
That's what it
place for
comes
myself
down
and
to.
cats.
You're
Yeah.
already there. You're balanced. Don't, you
Oh,
know, believe it.
yeah. I think we'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'm definitely gonna be all right because we still have three amazing poets left. My boy Alice is showing up. He's gonna close out the show for us. Uh, we got Mr. Witz, but we have someone very near and dear to my heart, Terri Rose, who's been at Open Mind since like pretty much day one. Always been there. Oh, you look so cute. I love that hat. What? Look at you too. Terry, if you could bless us with some words, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay. A poem written in honor of Winnie the Pooh Day, which was a couple of days ago. Can't say much about the lovable bear except that he captured the hearts and minds of imperfect humans. The stories ensued, telling the tales of his struggles to get his daily sustenance, his beloved honey. His friends assisted him while living with psychological disturbances, manifesting as fears, hyperactivity, and depression. Himself, the sticky, sweet, holding it all together with his mate, Christopher Robin, believed to be the author of his childhood adventures with his trusty bear. My mind goes there to the scenes in the woods where the pastels of the sky overlooking the desired tree, holding the nest filled with bees, and Winnie bravely climbing, inserting paw into swarm, and golden goop dripping, filling hungry mouth with elixir from gods. Bees, unaware of being swallowed, poke around in bear cave, stinging until mouth opened, releasing victims. His friends try to warn him of danger, but he cannot be swayed. The owl in the mix must represent the well-known absence of parental guidance, the common thread in Disney tales. Could this be an adult story after all, illustrating what is to come for the young boy? The consequences of proceeding without caution, never giving up on goals, to keep an eye on the prize, to accept and love your friends no matter what their idiosyncrasies, and the grown-up struggles of survival that await Chris. A warning to put away childish things, the undesirable trade-off known to every man or woman, and left no other choice to keep them alive but to document his childlike dreams. And then I have an ode to honey. I do love a heaping teaspoon melting in my steamy tea mug with a squeeze of fresh lemon. I do not use the fancy type of delicate china with the saucer to catch the drippings or bag. Tea bagging has another connotation these days, but that is a different poem. For now, we will keep our minds focused intently on the constancy of the golden medicine. Yes, it was the practice for centuries, the properties of this miraculous sticky gift that holds the ability to heal a body. Its properties contain ancient remedy and is still used as such today. I once watched a friend give her child no boundaries as she let her scoop out repeatedly uncontrolled amounts into her bratty little mouth, essentially almost emptying the jar, while we suspiciously eyed each other. She looked at me as if to say she was waiting for me to tell on her, and I did no such thing, but returned the look back to her. I knew she was going to finish it no matter what anyway. And as with anything sweet as honey, one has to be mindful of the consequence of overindulgence.
What, you mean poets overindulge? The
Never,
golden medicine.
never.
That was a great phrase, the golden medicine.
The golden medicine of our words. If you guys want to come out, tomorrow's karaoke night.
Aha.
I'll put it in the chat if you guys are interested.
Did we lose a host?
Yeah, where's Thomas?
Yeah, I think we're Sans host. That was fantastic, Terry.
Where's Tama?
Oh, there he is.
Speechless.
We lost you a minute, Thomas.
I can't. Can you guys hear me now?
There we go.
Yeah,
okay.
you're on.
How's
5
that
by
there?
5.
I'm sitting here talking to myself the whole time. I'm glad that I'm talking to you guys, because we have two wonderful poets left. We got Atlas on deck closing out the show, but coming up next on the mic, we got none other than Mr. Witz. Mr. Witz, I love you. I'm so glad Gifted came through tonight. I told you about what we gonna be doing later too, secrets. But if you could bless us with some words for now, man, I'd really appreciate it, brother. And I want to hear some stories too. Like I want to, what happened when you first met Nemo?
What's up, family? Forgive me. It's been a bit of a day for me. I definitely had to tap in support of my food dog Nemo. Was definitely fabulous hearing you. Your set was fucking phenomenal, dude. I don't even know if you understand how powerful you are, but you definitely do something to us all. When you bring us into your world, you take us into uh, another universe. I'll just say that. Um, I'm gonna do these pieces real quick, and I'm gonna dip out because I got to get up at 5 in the morning and go to work myself. I've been listening to you all though, while I've been trying to prepare myself for the morning, and it's been some phenomenal art in here tonight. So forgive my absence in the comment section and the absence of my voice. Just know that you all have made an impact on this evening. First piece I'm gonna do is inspired by a prompt from Through the Looking Glass Poet. If any of you know her, LG on Instagram, she's very dope. Uh, this piece is entitled "What's Your Worry." Sometimes the sky will tell you today's gonna be a dark day. When it does, you can feel the sorrow worn on its face, reflecting like a mirror of emotions, eager to scream thunderously as it precipitates, and only the cliff's walls can save you. The rock bearing branch where you used to nest. Persistence is a bluebird flying in a gray sky, attempting to overcome its sadness, knowing rain is coming in the cumulus blanket of saturated cotton imaging image bearing evaporation, while the dew lays in molecules resting on the feathers of its wingspan. The wind has no sympathy for a flight pattern. Only the lonely gust of its whistles reminds the bird of being alive. It's hard to sing against these conditions, but that hasn't killed the bluebird's song. The sound of country music telling the story, sampled in a city bird's heart. God made me to fly, though the hairs on my arms are not feather long. He made me so my poem, my word swarms, can rise me feet more than I can leap. But I worry, I may not fly high enough. I worry, my will won't allow me to quit, and my heart may freeze in this thin air. I worry, my wings may not get me there. I worry if the cliff will still be where I remember it. I worry something may be built in place of it. I worry some other bigger bird may have claimed my space for his or her own. And am I right for chasing down my aspirations? Or am I just flying towards a hole man left in the sky? There's no safe stay for a bluebird to land, so I fly in the tears offered me from a high. That's the first one.
Bruh.
The second piece is also a shout out piece. Um, you'll know it when you hear it. It's called A Roll of the Dice. God and the devil had a dice game over the spirit of C.P. Mays. staking people on the wood in exchange for currency because money means business. Big bank take little bank. Jugular vein syringed. It's a battle for the hemoglobin pumped in his arteries. Seat edging at the roll for this main event. Can't wait to see which of the numbers turn up frequently. If a 666 beat a 7 11 times, if he aces out, if he throws triple fives, when hell's fire square up against light from triple darkness, its cloud cracking sky over the stars' alignment. When God made CP to spit at these hellions, heaven unhinged him to fend off rebellion. The mark of the beast he'd become to succeed, and we're witnessing evil versus everything. Big fish shaking like rock, paper, scissors, but an open palm can smack the spirit out of you. It's the stones thrown that thrown a seat in your mind. So swiping the vessel's volume with souls internalizes his captivity of the game. CP Maze basically is God versus the devil, the evil attempting to drown him in bottles, LIQ cylinders, dark orange prescription jars. Bar for bar is a metaphor for roll. May the dice always show up in sums of 7, because God's fight for him is kept over immorality. Any fallacy clawing at his will to live is fixed like shaved ends tripping up in his language. He has vibrancy over morbid intentions of burying your purpose. It's on purpose. You're face to facing this challenge. You were crafted by merciful hands, fist clenched to prepare you to cold camp a core of a diamond. So break the mold. Come into your dice roll like a flipping ninja, dressed in black, with 7 tatted on your back. God has you, and there is nothing a devil can do to claim in your soul. The roll has been written with every intention of the God in you, casting the victory.
Everybody, do me a favor. Unmute yourselves and give it up for who I want to vote for, the world's big brother. He did a tear emoji before when I said that, but like, yo, because you've been such a great brother to, I think, me and Nemo and everybody who you've come across in your life, man, because you just, like, there's something so large about your heart that just encompasses, everything, man, and I just appreciate everything you do. Everybody do me a favor, unmute yourselves, get up for Mr. Witz.
Mr. Witz, yeah.
Oh, so marvelous.
Yeah, I got a little echo on my desk, and when he started his first poem, it was a picture of me and Witz when I did my first open mic with his arm around me, and so
Wow.
that was timing that just about got me.
Right? That's the universe, right? Hey, the universe will unfold the way it's supposed to, right?
The power of the spoken word. Watch out.
Yeah.
Man, I love you all. Praise be to the Most High. You know, we all where we supposed to be, right when we're there, right? And it's what we do that shows His work, right? Um, all I want to say to you all is this is going to be an amazing year. Fear not in the distractions. Fear not in the laws that will be inflicted. Fear not in any privilege that makes you feel less than human. Be courageous in everything that you do. Be loud, be boisterous. That's doing God's work. We are not here to cower by any means. It's a new day. It's a new time. And this is one of the greatest times to be alive. So be brave. Whatever it is that you come to confront, be brave. Don't go quiet into the night. Blessings to you all.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for that encouragement. I heard
Thanks for that
somebody say
blessing.
to
That's more than an encouragement, man. That was a straight up blessing, bro.
every encouragement is a
2025.
blessing, you
Yeah, I guess
know.
you're right there.
Yeah.
2025 of the year we all thrive. It's gonna be amazing.
I heard somebody say to me today, our diversity is a law of nature. You know, you can make laws against the sun, but it's still going to rise.
Yeah, yeah, it will every day. We can count on it, hopefully, right? And I can count on several things. Five of them on this hand, five of them on that. You know, I even have five down here and five over there. I can count on at least 20 things. And I think we've had over 20 poets tonight. And closing out the show, I can count on this person to always, I don't even want to say like bless the world because he's not even handing out blessings. He's just like literally boots on the ground, doing whatever the fuck he can to make this world a better place. He's got so many projects going. He's just like one of my favorite. Look, he got there. You go. Follow that link tree right there. See what Atlas is about. See why I love him so much and that I feel proud to call him my big brother right there. Atlas, if you could bless us with some words and close out the show, I would greatly appreciate it.
Hey, I live in New Orleans. It hasn't been too great here. I'm sure a few people even mentioned something about the military and things like that, so I'm pretty sure everybody here knows what happened. We got a ton of snow, so try. No, I'm kidding. Um,
Yeah, it snowed in Florida, so that's not too far.
so it's weird. We call it like self-deletion. We call it like a bunch of things because you're not allowed to spell or say suicide on any form of social media. Well, self-destruction. So self-destruction is the leading cause of death worldwide. And what's crazy is that each culture, each country has their own sort of like common way of doing it. Like in India, a lot of people will ingest poison. Um, in Japan, people will leap from tall buildings, things of that sort. Anyway, so here, what's scary is when someone gets to a point where they do not care if they live or die. Uh, that in and of itself is a tragedy. But then if you do not care if you live until tomorrow morning, then things like bad press or shame or incarceration or none of that matters either. So then the whole idea, if you get to the point where you feel like the world is tragic, there's this part of your brain that thinks anyone else that you can take from the world, you're like doing them a favor. In some respect, people believe that. Anyway, so the guy circled Canal 6 times. So in those 6 different loops, he's in his head, right? With no one there to mediate, to moderate, no one there to be a friend, to help assuage the situation. And so that in and of itself is a tragedy. I was there. I was in the quarter for several nights doing what I call luminary graffiti. So I use a high-powered projector to project some of my art, some of my writings onto walls, and I also can sketch so it looks like I'm spray painting a wall, but it's actually just color coming through a digital projector. And I do that because I have issues with sleep, and so like the whole idea of like the darkest of times, there's a light, and so oddly enough, there I was doing the same thing at the memorial that they had over right there on Bourbon and Canal. And so there's an image there from it.
Do you want to share screen so you can instead of posting in there so you can share screen with it, or do you want me to share screen while you do it?
Sharing, I'm still learning
Oh,
the
here, I'll
Zoom
do
thing.
it.
I was way better when I had to use it for work
Yeah.
years ago.
Alright.
But these are just some images of the
I'll share
quotes,
screen.
and they are high def enough that you can see some of the phrases. Like for instance, the average person is likely to say that they'd gladly do anything to make the world a better place. But if someone asked them the first name of their 5 closest neighbors, they wouldn't be able to answer. So how can we expect to make the world a better place if we don't even know our neighbors? And another one was a lot of, I put in a little chat. Yeah. A lot of times people will comfort someone by saying, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything. But often that's exactly why we're hurting. Because
you didn't do it.
We didn't do it. We didn't do anything. And then another one was, and then these images you guys can actually like grab and, you know, keep. Be careful about spending too much time inside your head. You could end up lost in your thoughts and by all intents and purposes die there. But if you do have a tendency to spend time inside your head, make sure you share your thoughts with others so that they can find you in those scary moments when you lose yourself. So I was putting out different quotes and just sort of trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. I didn't put my hashtags or anything like that. It was, I felt extremely inappropriate, but I wanted to seize the moment because a lot of people are like, why, and what, right? Why did this happen? What do I do now? Why did this happen? What do I do now? And different people have different answers to those questions. So I wrote something, sadly, years ago, and it's crazy how often the stuff I write is like very prophetic. I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right, and I am far too often. I wrote this. You'll know why I wrote this, but just know I wrote this several years ago, and we had an event the day after, January 2nd, and I spoke at the event, and this is what I shared. So I'd like to share with all of you. You guys are all here, yeah? It's hard to tell because like a lot of people have their cameras on, and all right.
I'm pretty sure everyone
All
here
right.
has our
Okay.
undivided
Yeah, we're
attention
here.
drawn in
All right.
Absolutely, we're here.
to you, Brother Atlas.
This is beautiful. All right, here we go. Genuinely, wholeheartedly ask the people you care about, how are you? I don't have an answer to how you can find more joy, success, or love in your life, but I do believe that sometimes the right question is far better and far more effective than any answer. I don't know about you. I go days without my phone ringing, weeks without a knock at the door. I don't even know most of my friends' handwriting, and I haven't received a letter in the mail, and I don't even know how long. At this point in time, I would just love an email check-in, really. I don't know what bothers me more, how often telemarketers call me, or how seldom my friends and family do. I don't need to watch the news or to listen to the weather forecast to know that the world has grown quite cold. It's hard to even engage in conversation these days because everyone loves to focus on our differences, how people vote, their religious beliefs, or perhaps lack thereof, what news they watch, which celebrities they follow or currently dislike. It seems we're always looking for excuses to be separated in a world where we so desperately need to come together. We've lost our faith in politicians, scientists, some of us in God. But the real danger is when we start to lose our faith in ourselves and in each other. We have to focus on the numerous things we all have in common. We all need food, water, shelter, sleep. We get sad. We get lonely. We want to be loved. We want to feel like we matter. We seek to create memories and share those beautiful memories with others. Because despite what social media and your current camera reel will tell you, no one wants to be the only one in every single photo. There's so much we know we have in common. And yet, there are people starving with a fridge full of food. They hunger for purpose, they thirst for conversation. There are people who live in abundance. Their homes and wallets are full, but they feel this inescapable emptiness. There are people who feel completely alone in crowded rooms, just wanting someone, anyone, to look away from their screen and into their eyes to acknowledge that they exist. There are people in their warm, cozy homes, frozen in place, trapped by their fears and their anxieties. There are people with beautiful voices who desire and deserve to be heard, and yet they suffer in silence. There are people who feel so unseen, so invisible throughout their entire life that they are willing to do horrible things to themselves and others just to have their name remembered. I believe that so many of us want nothing more than for someone, anyone, to just genuinely ask us, how are you? And then give us the time, the space, and the patience to come up with an answer for a question we have been conditioned our entire life to completely disregard, or just simply say, fine, how are you? I believe that it is a matter of life and death. I know that 3 words can change someone's life, whether it's the person saying them or the person hearing them. I know it takes only a few minutes to save someone's life, because it only takes a few minutes for someone who feels alone, afraid, and abandoned to take their own life. I learned this lesson the worst way it could possibly be taught when I lost my 26-year-old niece. Everyone looked at her social media and the photos she posted and assumed she was perfectly fine. But no one called. No one knocked on her door. No one took the time to ask her, how are you? And now no one can. I beg all of you, put your differences aside. All the arguing is petty, I assure you. Anything that keeps you from the people you care for isn't worth having in that space. And I can assure you, as smart as you think you are, as wise as you may seem, there's no point in being right if you're the only one who's left. Take the time to ask the people you care for, how are you? Thank you.
Everybody, do me a favor right now. Unmute yourselves and give it up for Atlas.
Atlas, wow.
Woo! Yes.
Wow.
Amazing.
Truly
Yeah.
I love that
powerful.
line too. There's no point in being right when you're the only one left. And I've lost several of some really close friends to me to suicide, and I lost my father to suicide, and almost myself to suicide several times too. But luckily, I'm still kicking it, right? But no, it's a very strange thing that one does, right? And you said it's the number one cause. It's like the world is so fucked up that we decide that we have to take ourselves from the world because we don't want to be in it. When really we should all stand up and decide that let's make this world a place that we all want to live in, not a place that we all are killing ourselves to get out of. And Atlas, you are fucking helping the world do that. And that's why I love and appreciate you so much, brother, and what you're doing. Because I want to make this world a place that we all want to live in, not a place we want to take ourselves out of.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are some people who don't believe in God, and that's fine. Um, or people who are mad at God. I'll share something, and I know this is being recorded. Uh, so my existence is totally a miracle. Um, my mom paid and had an abortion performed and found out weeks later that she was still pregnant with me. She did everything she could, including throwing herself down a flight of stairs to try and be rid of me. Here I am. When I was 13, because I grew up without my dad, um, one of the reasons why my mom didn't want to have me is because my dad wanted to be in my life but didn't want to be with my mom. So she thought the ultimate revenge would be to kill his only son. So I grew up without my dad. And I was so bitter about it because I didn't have a father. So I went to church because I wanted a father that would be in my life throughout all of it. And I was on my way to church. It was Father's Day, and I was so upset. I couldn't see because my eyes were just filled with tears, and I just didn't care. So I crossed a really busy highway, and I got struck by a Chevy Blazer that was going 67 miles an hour. Hit me head on. Uh, EMT came out, no response, no sign of life. Um, they can't declare you dead on the scene. They can do that retroactively, but they still have to make any and all attempts to resuscitate. The hospital does that. And lo and behold, a few minutes later, there I was again. And then the last one, similar to the phrase I shared, getting lost in your thoughts. I'm sure some people here do it. It's great if you're stationary, but if you're trying to like run errands or whatever, or even just innocently walking and you like get stuck in your mind, sometimes you aren't even paying attention to what's going on in front of you. And I managed to walk across Thomas would know. So US 1, it goes all the way up Florida to
Oh
Maine.
yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
busy road. It's one of the major roads of this country. I crossed US 1 while the light was green and managed to get across the street and a block away before I woke up from this whole stuck in my mind thing. So this isn't like I write it and I'm I forget what the soapbox or whatever the
No, this
fancy
is,
words are.
hey, you're still
Uh,
here and we're all grateful that you're here. And I swear, if you go
no,
wandering
I'm
off
just
into
trying to say like
traffic
I'm
one more
not like
time, I'm gonna send my wife to go grab you by the earlobe and come pull you up here so you can't go wandering off into traffic gate. Because we
I
love
think
you and we love
I
everything
think the
that you
word is Nemo's postulating. Is that what I'm thinking of when people like is that what the phrase is? Like when you talk like at people instead of to them or something?
you're postulating.
The
I don't know.
postulating is when you kind of make a
Proselytizing.
prediction or you sort
No,
of look at
postulate.
facts and build
Posturing.
something that it hasn't been
Pos,
verified
pos,
yet. You postulate the possibility of this, that, or the other thing.
somewhat of a
So
manifestation.
so the idea postulate. Oh yeah, there okay. Um, yeah, so I get that a lot. People, oh, whatever, you think you're so much better. Because like I tell people, hey, you should quit smoking. They're like, you never smoked. Or I tell people, you should slow down on drinking. They're like, well, what do you know? You've never struggled with, and it's just like
And you're like, no shit, that's why I'm telling you not to.
it's so difficult to like. I mean, in reality, it's very, very challenging these days to genuinely care about people. One, because a lot of us don't really know what that looks like from an execution standpoint. We don't know what it looks or sounds like when someone genuinely cares about us, like our health, our well-being. Because so many people, they don't want to come across combative or confrontational, and so they just sort of appease us. And I just like I genuinely care. And yeah, I don't make it to this mic very often. I would like to,
You know what,
but I'm
Atlas,
glad that
though?
so many people have found their way here. And Nemo, like, just
It's
places
tough
flute, and like
love, though,
25
too.
people show up.
Yeah,
So
Atlas,
it's
though, it's tough love, too. What you dole out, you know what I mean?
yeah.
and it's because you actually care. It's love, a little tough love, because we're all hard-headed, you know. Sometimes you gotta, hey, you know. But yeah, thank you so much for doing everything you do, not just in the poetic community, but with your stand-up and with your social work that you do. Yeah, your stand-ups and your sit-downs. What it is, boy, standing up, sitting down, or rolling around on the ground. He's trying to make someone's life better, and whether it's tough love or a laugh or just a genuine, and I mean genuine, I love you. He gets his message across, man.
Yeah, thanks. Really, thank you so much for bringing that message that's, about the danger of this pervasive alienation, where nobody relates to each other really or authentically. They seem to, but they don't be it.
Yeah, they talk a
And
lot of game, but you could talk the talk or walk the walk. And there's very few of us here, that walking the walk, and I think most of us in this room are walking the walk and talking the talk and trying to get other people to just say, look, if we all line up and walk together as one, and if the next helps out the next, if I lend a hand to you, right? If we're all stuck in the mud and I reach out, I lend a hand to you, and someone lends a hand to me, and that person, we can all pull ourselves out of this mud,
yeah, well, it's this
in theory. But
that
who
message.
knows?
Yeah, I know
I'm just some
totally,
crazy
Thomas.
poet.
Well, it's because what Atlas is talking about is how there's been this inversion of the whole value system in the society
Yeah,
where being alienated has the highest value. There's a
yeah.
very high value placed on being alienated
And
and
don't we
not
realize
being
we're all
able
the
to
same
relate to other
person,
people.
Paul? We're all the same person, so why alienate yourself from yourself?
Exactly, you know? And
Like
then
he said,
there's
we
the
all want to be
other,
loved. We all need
the
food. We all want, need
Yeah, and
corporate
the
like
other dimension is which Atlas so, eloquently and selflessly represents is the alienation from your own self.
yeah, that's the hardest to get over. We're all our own worst critics, man.
It's just what's concerning is you look at the most lucrative companies, right? So like we're all old enough here, right? I'm seeing gray on almost every face or
Yeah,
photo.
every face in here has gray
Uh
on it. You can guarantee that.
so I mean if the most lucrative companies, right? Airbnb, you have strangers in your home. Uber, you have strangers driving you around, right? You have strangers delivering your food. And all of these companies, honestly, they financially benefit them. Like, think about it. Like, I work in property management. A two-bedroom, let's say a two-bedroom, just median value would be 1,600 a month, right? So a two-bedroom is 1,600, but two one-bedrooms, right, is 1,400 each. So just something that simple, right? Like,
Yeah, like
and then,
cohabitation. Like, look,
right.
you
So
can't
then,
afford this place on your own, but if you're willing to get along with this person that, you can kind of vibe with, and you guys,
no, no, it's
everyone
what
could
I'm
be
saying is the
housed.
opposite.
Oh,
Just using it as an example of like, so restaurants are struggling because people they're not having lunch together with people. Theaters are suffering because nobody wants to go to the movies alone. So the whole idea, if you look at all of the companies, the most lucrative ones, they want to get you home, they want you to stay there, and they want you to be as afraid as of everyone else and as isolated from everyone else because you are easier to control and you're easier to make money off of. So
Right.
like that in and of itself, if you hate consumerism or big corporations, then if nothing
well,
else,
that's what
break
I'm
through
doing as
the
open
fear
minds,
and the
trying to create
anxiety.
these poetry shows for everybody to come together. So even when they force us in the homes, we could all come together and share wonderful art and share passion and everything. But I have to shut the recording off now. And we're gonna sit for a bit. But Atlas, I see you. But them corporations trying to isolate us. That's why I'm breaking through the box. Yo, I'll use Zoom now to bring us all together again. And I hope that everyone goes out and hugs at least 3 neighbors this week. So you have 7 days to hug 3 neighbors. So that's not even one a day. You can slack off for a day or whatever. But if you hug one of your neighbors, or at least a smile, dude, pass a smile, do something. You know,
You heard
write
it
a
here,
message on the
folks.
chart
Go
wall.
bang on your neighbor's door and
And
demand
give him a big
hugs.
hug from Nemo. We'll send you
Right.
baked goods
Demand
too.
hugs. Hey, Thomas said I need hugs.
The
See you soon.
flags my neighbor flies, I ain't knocking on that door.
Well, we hope everyone gets out and hugs their neighbors. We hope to see you guys in the next week doing fine. 2025, the year we all thrive. We're not trying to survive no more. Like, yo, we're gonna push it to the next level. We're gonna have people housed, clothed, fed, and filled with love. Yeah, we love you guys, and we'll see you next week. And once again, you guys,
Thank you,
give it up
Thomas.
for
What a
Nemo
night.
Sum. What a night. Thank you, Nemo. You're the one that brought this night. Like, you made this happen. I just
Oh,
showed up and
no,
hit record. It was all you, bruh.
it's beautiful. It was an amazing night. So, yeah, thank you, everyone. That was incredible.